be the best. Others, mate, we're just here to have a bloody good time. Oh, yeah.
It's not your mind playing tricks on you. It's just me. Maggie's back and ready to rip some heads off.
Hi, friends. Hi, friends. Hey, that's me.
A new game that brings together matchsticks and gunpowder in bloody matrimony. Wild card.
Tickets on sale now. Things are about to get cooked. Legends were harmed in the making of this commercial.
Intriguing. You have my attention. You're welcome.
Time to see if all those drills have paid off.
Nice triple kill. I'd say congrats 3 times, but we're still in.
Mind your mullets, ladies. You got a bloody roller coaster ahead of yous.
Even if there is no end to the pursuit of perfection, never cease striving for perfection. Zowie understands without the right mouse shape, performance can be impacted, thus not unleash your full potential. Various shapes with designs validated by sports science for performance, comfort, and endurance. Zowie applies sports science to analyze pro player gaming performance data, researching differences in hand styles and grip styles. Apply scientific analysis to esports to ensure consistent FPS performance. Enjoy better agility and precision for long-range and secondary targeting while tracking enemies. The FK's low-profile design allows for more space and thus creates micro-adjustments between palm and mouse. Our tests show that the FK delivers faster aiming while making micro-adjustments during shooting. The ZA series provides faster and more precise long-distance flick shots. ZA's higher hump provides full palm support, balancing muscle exertion on both sides. The curvy sides enhance palm muscle activation for precision braking and greater aiming accuracy. S provides more stable and accurate tracking. The shorter design of S enables more flexibility during vertical movements. Our tests show the left and right muscles are more balanced, resulting in the most stable and accurate tracking. U provides agility and multi-angle movements for claw grippers. The left side curve reduces the thumb placement angle for faster index finger clicking. The right side curve allows easy ring finger placement to balance hand exertion and provide better stability. The EC series is designed for fast horizontal movements over longer distances. EC's rounded and smooth curved design ensures no distracting pressure on the palm, which reduces muscle fatigue during extended use. Gamers can rely on DW mice and their 4K report rate enhanced receiver, even in the most extreme wireless interference environment, such as a tournament. Zowie provides gaming equipment tailored to individual needs, offering options to suit various styles of play and grips for consistent performance. This is a brief introduction of the new wireless mice. Feel free to DM us if you have any questions.
When this began, I had nothing to say, and I'd get lost in the nothingness inside of me. I was confused, and I let it all out to find that I'm not the only person with these things in mind. But all the vacancy the words revealed is the only real thing that I've got left to feel. Just stuck, hollow and alone, and the fault is my own, and the fault I wanna heal, I wanna feel what I thought was never real. I wanna let go of the pain I felt so long. Erase all the pain till it's gone. I wanna heal, I wanna feel like I'm close to something real. I wanna find something I wanted all along, somewhere I belong. I wanna heal, I wanna feel like I'm somewhere I belong. I wanna heal, I wanna feel like I'm somewhere I belong. Somewhere I belong.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ALGS APAC South Split 2, brought to you by Battlegrounds OCE. I am your host. Today I have with me K-Man from one of the up-and-coming Valorant OCE streamers. Currently has come over to help me with the Apex scene. Welcome in today, K-Man. Split 2, A versus B is what we're watching today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, mate. I mean, I'm so excited for this. Obviously, as you said, kind of new to the scene, and I'm thrown straight into watching some of the best teams compete today. And I'll tell you what, from watching, obviously the prep time that we've had, watching a few of the scrims, doing stuff like that, I mean, this talent in this lobby is going to be insane. I'm so excited to get into it. We got 6 action-packed matches ahead of us, and I just want to get started. I mean, this is crazy.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Does look like everyone is getting into the lobby as we speak, but today we are watching Group A, Group B. You can see the teams there, K-Man. We do have our last winners at the EWC, which was VK Gaming. They don't have QQ today. They do have a young controller, Prodigy, stepping in for him, and I think his name is Dan Shu. So be interesting to see how VK go without QQ. Obviously, definitely was the MVP of the last LAN. It'll be interesting to see how VK go. We haven't seen them scrim yet either, and we haven't seen them practice since winning. So it will be interesting to see how the last champ winners will go today.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, roster changes always, they're bound to happen in esports. It's a pretty volatile scene at times. So, no surprise to see that there's some adjustments here and there. But, I mean, there's still going to be a quality side. I think it'll be, hard to, even though, as you said, maybe the MVP for that event has stepped aside for now, they've still got 2 EWC winners in that roster. So plenty of experience. They know how to get the job done. They're definitely going to be a team to watch. But there's a lot of teams here that I am excited to see personally. I mean, you look at a team like Wolves Esports that just love to go aggressive, but they do it in such a way where it's very hard to actually stop the push, because whenever they do take those fights, they really do a good job of isolating the team they want to focus and kind of clean up pretty quickly on a lot of those fights. We know that, they just look to send it, get in there. Even if they trade knocks, they don't care. They just want to get in as close as possible, and then they wrap fights up really quick. So they're an exciting team that I'm definitely keeping an eye out on.
Yeah, Wolves definitely one of the teams. I mean, the standings of the world come out today for this game, and Gen G are sitting in the top 5 of those standings. So
yep,
we get to watch them today as well. You've seen Asia. He's one of the most talented players in our region.
Oh, yes.
I'd probably say he's the most talented player in our region. They're due, and I think Split 2 could definitely be Gen G's. You got a pick today?
Look, based on, what I've been watching and what I have been saying, I think it'll be either Gen G or Wolves, as you said, Gen G being so highly rated. But I think Wolves, when they get momentum, they're very hard or almost impossible to stop. I mean, we saw them absolutely tear away the other night in a few sets of games. Just when they get on a streak, they win 3 games in a row. They won 3 games in a row in those set lobbies that we were casting during the week. So, I mean, when they are in top form, they're almost unbeatable. And, I mean, I'm really excited to see them pop off. And, yeah, we'll see. I mean, look, obviously in a Battle Royale, there's always the chance that the Dark Horse coming through as well. So, I mean, it's anyone's game. And, yeah, I mean, it's an interesting format to be going through, because obviously, the ones that I have casted previously, it's been kind of knockout stages and whatnot, whereas this is just simply playing for those series points, staying in it the whole time and doing your best all the way up until Game 6. So, it's going to be interesting to see if we do see 6 different winners here, Stoney, because that would also be something that we have seen in the past.
That we will. And I mean, obviously you don't have random POIs like we do in CC, but
yeah,
these guys have been practicing from their POIs. And I mean, if we're going off the week of practice, Wolves Esports definitely the team to be keeping an eye on. But we will go and have a look at the teams that did qualify through PLQ. Now, if you guys did watch the PLQ broadcast, we were live here as well, and these were the 10 teams that did make it through. Now, usually it is only 8, but because of a couple of dropouts from the last split, we have got Silly Billies and NML, who were 9th and 10th, making their way into the Pro League split as well. And you can see those teams there. So we've got Small W, Fizz6 Gaming, Meraki, QOR Gaming, Silly Billies, Source Gaming, Bad Aim Team, Stinky B, the boys, and NML. Stinky B and the boys were the 2 probably most aggressive teams in the PLQ finals. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys go. I think Meraki have had enough practice to prove that they belong. We also have Source Gaming, who used to be Ruckus. They have been together for a fair while, so the team chemistry between them is up and about, and we might see them do okay also. We'll go and have a look, though, at those team name changes. Because we haven't had a broadcast in the whole split one, we'll have a look, as there has been a fair few changes, as you can see, K-Man.
Yeah, it has. I mean, I've known the teams, pretty much most of them, as the teams that they are called now, being new to the scene. But yeah, for anyone who is a bit of a long-term viewer, a bit confused at the team names, we do have quite a few changes to come in. So we got DOA Ibu changing to Rendang, Revo Fitness becoming Fizz6 Gaming, LLG becoming DCG, Leviathan becoming Tom Yum Kung, DXA becoming Silly Billies, YBR is now Team Mango, Outside have changed to Las Vegas Inferno, Control Alt Delete have become QOR Gaming, Ruckus have become Source Gaming, Havoc have become Cupid Esports, and Rival Esports are now known as Five Fears.
Yes, and the Rival Esports and Five Fears one only happened just a couple of days ago, so that's going to be interesting as we move forward into the split. LLG, who everyone's used to watching, which is Rowie, he is now at Deep Cross Gaming, so that will be a team to watch out for as well. We have YBR, who there is no Black Road or Ricky anymore. It's just Crumbs. Actually, there's no YBR at all on Team Mango, so it does look like Crumbs has taken that spot for the team. Outside now of Vegas Inferno and Control Alt Delete, who have QOR Gaming, but they play with their original roster today, and then I'm pretty sure they're picking up a roster, a member from Silly Billies next week, which is Yukoi. So a lot of talking points throughout today, and I'm looking forward to it. Let's go and have a look, though. We are starting on Storm Point here for game number 1, K-Man, and do you see anything? I mean, you did watch the scrims throughout the week, so you know where they're landing at the moment anyways. What team are you looking for to be aggressive, or who do you think will take control early here?
I mean, good question. Obviously, sort of that top right of the map, sort of the northeastern side, you tend to get a lot of teams getting some early engagements around there. And then also, if you're looking towards the north pad or the northwest as well, with those prowlers and stuff like that, certain teams occasionally, I mean, DCG, definitely one of those teams that love to try and take the prowlers away from the players in that northwestern side, and they really do fight for it. So I'm expecting a couple scraps towards the north, and then I don't know, JDG is starting it down at Devastated Coast. I really like the way that they have played their early games in scrims. They've been getting very early rotates and kind of stopping Launchpad from being able to get any sort of a forward position on them. So I do think that they've done a really good job in sort of marking their territory and conditioning Team Mango, I believe that is landing north of them, that, they can't just get to that early position for free. They've got to earn it. If they want to fight them, they're going to have to come to them. And yeah, I think JDG really have done a good job from their drop spot, which we have seen at times certain teams struggle occasionally, but JDG is certainly not one of those teams. So I'm expecting that to be a little bit more slow paced in that fight. But yeah, that north side, it could definitely get very crazy.
Yeah, JD Gaming were our last split winners as well. So if they can get it going well from the start today, they're definitely in intention to keep up their good work from the last split. But you're right, Devastated Coast, they do have a couple of teams very close by that I feel like JD Gaming will have the advantage in the fighting of those teams as well. So it'll be interesting to see how QOR, if they will rotate to Coastal Camp or where they're going ahead from there. But we're not too far away from game number 1. It does look like everyone is very close to getting into the lobby. While we wait for game number 1 to get underway, we'll go and have a look at the E-District POIs. There you have it, E-District POIs right there. And it looks like JD Gaming, they took Humbert Labs as their first pick in the draft.
Yeah, solid POI. I mean, there's plenty of loot around. Obviously, got a couple of those weapon caches as well. So you're going to get yourself plenty of ammunition and some guaranteed attachments, which always are very, very nice to have in the back pocket. And Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting first pick to be coming out. Obviously, Energy Bank, we've seen that is kind of the place to be in a district, especially in that early game. You're almost guaranteed the zone every single time. So interesting to see them pass that up. But again, I mean, if they're picking, Devastated Coast, then they've been looking good out of there. I'm not surprised to see them go for a little bit more of an isolated pick yet again. So that seems to be their style in the early game. Just cover a nice amount of room and get some good loot before they get into an engagement. So I'm not surprised to see if that is the way they want to play. But yeah, looking at this map, there's a couple of teams that are probably going to be rotating through Energy Bank pretty early on, and that may be also why they're probably not going there, JD, I suppose, as their first pick. So you know that you're going to have a very, very contested early game if you're spawning around Energy Bank, and there's certainly a lot of teams that are going to look to go aggressive at some point on this map, because I believe this is the second map, so that is when the leaderboard is going to start taking shape and teams are going to get a little bit more desperate for those extra points.
It will, but we're not too far away from game number 1, chat. We do appreciate you guys all being here this afternoon. I know it is a very different sight, not seeing Longshot, and to be honest, I do miss Longshot and everyone as well. But I'm excited for this new chapter in my life, being able to put on an event like this and help out the region with some course, just some kind of broadcast. We do not have any overhead observers or anything like that. We're kind of like a B stream. I'll try to get to every fight that I can. I'm the only observer in this stream. So we will try our best to bring you guys some kind of show. But I do appreciate all the support. We are live over on YouTube as well. Exact same name, Battlegrounds OCE. So if you guys do prefer YouTube, we are live over there as well. We do appreciate all the support, and we hope that we do not let you guys down throughout this split. But we are live with A versus B today, and we'll go have a look one more time at the groups. And I want you, K-Man, to give me your last pick of today before we get into game number 1.
My pick to take it all in this lobby. I mean, look, I said Wolves at the start. I'm just going to back myself and just say, you know what? Wolves going to put on a show for us. We know how exciting they are, as I said. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll see a 20 bomb coming out from them. I don't know. Maybe that's a bit much, but you know what? We'll see what happens. But Wolves, I think, if they play in the top form, I think that their peak has been above and beyond everyone else's this week.
Yeah, Wolves. I'm going to go with Gen G. And I'm going to have a sleeper pick in there as well. And I feel like 5 Fears might be in our top 3 today as well.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to the action. We're not too far away. As you can see, everyone is in the lobby. So game number 1, only around the corner. But man, Group A and Group B are pretty stacked. I mean, Group C, we don't get to see the teams of like our Cadsia, Soul, Dreamfire, Boogie Borders, Cupid Esports, a very good lobby as well. You know, you got teams like Source Gaming, NML, Fizz6, QOR, Bad Aim Team, Silly Billies. That's 6 teams today trying to prove that they are ready and deserve a Pro League position.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very, very hard pressed to really break away in this lobby at all. I mean, like you say, there is just so much talent. It's really hard to split them. And I suppose we're just going to see it in the first couple of games, right? I mean, obviously, the first game traditionally is a little bit slow paced. People trying to get a bit of a feel for it and sort of poke and prod their opponents, get an understanding of the pace of the game and how the players and the teams around them want to play. So it's going to be an interesting, probably a pretty slow start to our first game, but once we get into the competition and people are feeling confident and warmed up, that's when it is going to be the fireworks we are used to seeing in APAC South.
That it will. All right, game number 1 can't be too far away, ladies and gentlemen. We will go and hit you with a BRB. Hopefully this is the only BRB I hit you with today. But lots to talk about, lots of storylines to continue. We are your hosts, Stony AU and K-Man, and I'm so excited to bring you guys all the action today. We'll see you all in a second for game number 1.
greatness. For some, it is the reason we forge rivalries, drive to be the best. Others, mate, we're just here to have a bloody good time. Oh, yeah.
It's not your mind playing tricks on you. It's just me. Maggie's back and ready to rip some heads off.
Hi, friends. Hi, friends. Hey, that's me.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, game number 1 is about to get underway. We are at the moment looking at the legend character select, but I'm excited. We have 6 today. We are starting on Storm Point. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. Yeah, it is hard to push. I mean, you can't even really hold a place like up against the Caustic. Caustic's taking Caustic damage from other Caustics. It's just kind of cancer. So hopefully we see Caustic gone after game number 1 and the games will just be a little bit more cruisy. Hold on. There we go. You back on. But we are moving into the pylon here. So the zone pool looking like it's going south. The game number 1 came in.
Yeah, it should be an interesting zone here. Obviously, the pylon has a lot of verticality on it. With the teams that are spawning around there, it's going to be a very interesting place for them to obviously be. It's Bearclaw Gaming who do have this ring to play around. So, I mean, they're probably not going to be around too much. They'll probably want to get a bit of the outskirts loot of the pylon before setting themselves up nicely. And yeah, they're going to be looking pretty good for now, but the rest of the teams here at the moment, as I said, are still just doing their loot pass. It doesn't seem there is too much aggression going on the map just yet.
Nah, it does look like Bearclaw Gaming. They've looted pylon. They're going to rotate straight to coastal camp. As we know, no one's landing there. So they're going to try and beat QOR, who did land at Echo. And I don't mind that idea from BCG. It will give them a little bit extra loot. They did get that player scan, so they know that no teams had rotated here as of yet. And also, the zone does look like maybe we will see a coastal camp finish here for game 1 also. And we saw a couple of them through our scrims this week, haven't we? I'm pretty sure. I think we saw a couple where JDG did really well.
Yeah, when JDG pull the ring, they do tend to go fairly well, as we can see. BCG getting into a little bit of an engagement here on the edge of this ring, as we said. An early contest for the space down here at Coastal, and they got a couple of teams that are rotating in on them. They're gonna have to be careful. It looks like QOR are gonna have to get out of there. Razi will be at least able to heal up for now, but under some early pressure here. So it's good to see BCG make that confident play, get themselves set up. And they have forced QOR Gaming to rotate out over towards Echo yet again. So they've kind of sent them out of here and marked their territory very early on. Good to see a confident play coming out from the boys.
Yeah, they did want to rotate to coastal camp. They were a little bit too slow. So well done there by the team in Pylon. Looks like remarkable team. They're trying to move in as well here to Pylon. They do get the player beacon, and at the moment you can see there's a couple of teams inside Pylon as well. We'll go and have a look. As you can see, the team's rotating in, and it is JD Gaming and Team Mango here came in, trying to find a place to just stay alive for now as round 1 starts to close.
Yeah, this is going to get very, very ugly, and it looks like Remarkable Team have actually portaled in as well. So there's 3 teams sitting around here on Pylon. Very, very interesting to see how this is going to break down. Donson looking for some early shots, but there's an early stinger ball being committed here And Team Mango are going to have to make a little bit of a retreat here at the moment. It looks like we do see the teams nice and early on. Remarkable team. They want to fight. They want to get aggressive. And they have managed to make a little bit of room for themselves here at Pylon.
Yeah, need to be careful though. Don't want to be too aggressive too early, especially with so many teams inside Pylon. But I don't see many teams throwing their first game of today. So the aggressive gameplay, as it works, we know it does work, but we know how quick Apex Legends can turn into a third-party Legends game, and you don't want to be going out too early here in game one. But 20 squads still standing, 1 minute and 50 seconds left here of this round to close. Came in and not much action.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to see the teams just doing their rotates. Like we said, we were going to expect it to be a fairly slow match at the moment. A little bit of rotating happening, a little bit of tagging up, farming the Evos, but it looks like there is finally a little bit of aggression here. We got Silly Billies as well rotating around, and yeah, these teams that are rotating at the moment looking just to try and get into the ring. Nice and central rotate. NML though are a duo, and it looks like they are going to go for a respawn north side, but other than that, everyone else is looking pretty steady.
Yeah, nothing really happening as of yet. So still 20 squads. You can see teams rotating in. We have Keep Going, KPG in Cedo at the moment. It looks like Deep Cross Gaming, the old team of LLG, are about to get in on the action here. And it looks like Rowie is keen to get in on the first fight of the game.
Yeah, obviously we do see a lot of these teams wanting to try and, you know, push for that space that, you know, they've worked hard to hold on to begin with. So it is interesting to see a little bit of team dynamics here. We got a few players poking and prodding, looking to try and find some sort of success here. Keep Going Gaming, obviously one of the teams that are rotating in a little bit late, trying to make a little bit of room for themselves, and they are going to have to be challenged on this rotate. We can see they actually don't have that ring knowledge as to where this ring is going to pull, so they are going to be faced with a pretty long rotate ahead of themselves later on once they get that information. But for now, they will just keep to themselves on that north side as we do look back in at this congested section of the zone. And Deep Cross Gaming, I mean, it's interesting to see that they have rotated a little bit further south, but the rest of the teams who are in this next ring of Pylon are going to be set up very, very well here, Stoney. I mean, there's a lot of teams on this south side. Everyone is gambling on a far south pool, and it looks like it's going to go a little bit more central than what most teams expect.
Yeah, it looks like Vegas Inferno did get rid of Silly Billies throughout that time that we were talking, but it's unlucky for them. Early elimination. It did look like Yukoi as well was going down a fair bit, but we have MDYB at the moment trying to hold this situation against BCG, but that zone does pull back up north towards the teams that are in Pylon, and whoever called this early for these teams here, they're looking pretty good here for game number one.
Yeah, we're going to see a few more engagements happening around the map at the moment. As we can see plenty of rotates happening around the map. We can see Rendang are trying to rotate in as well. They've got themselves a nice little rock to play off here, a bit of high ground for themselves, but they are looking towards some of these buildings, see if they can get a safer position. But for now, I mean, they don't really have to do anything too desperate. They do have the current ring at the moment, and they do have some room to play with as well. So they've done a good job in getting some space, but we can see plenty of teams on top of each other. You can see the tension is starting to build, Stoney. These teams are becoming increasingly uncomfortable around each other.
And 19 teams still alive round two, and that's very close to being closed as well. And I do like where JDG are. They hold the height with that caustic, and they're kind of safe just hiding in this little building here. They do have the caustic ash crypto, so it'll be interesting to see how we go. And it looks like QOR Gaming are getting into some action here, and they're going to get another down maybe. It looks like they're going up against VK Gaming, and like I said, K-Man, we haven't seen VK Gaming scrim at all, and we may see the EWC champions get eliminated at 19th position.
Well, they're under the pump now. We can see QR are going aggressive. They're identifying the last member here. It is Casa, and Casa will be eliminated by Razi. So as you say, EWC champions going down very, very early in game 1.
Crazy there. VK Gaming going down, and now all of a sudden QO Gaming needs to be careful because the team of 5 Fears looking to get a little bit aggressive, and it's just Go Gaps using the advantage there of Alter being able to move back whenever he pleases.
Yeah, a little bit of a flank play attempting to come out there. No harm done for the Alter, as you say. And yeah, 5 Fears are going to continue to be set up very nicely. They have a lot of room to work with here, actually. It's looking pretty cozy for them on the map here. Not really any teams challenging their current position, and they will have the ring pool for the next one as well. So they are looking very, very healthy for the rest of the teams that will need to rotate in, especially on this south side. I'm seeing 4 or 5 teams here just kind of congested, trying to rotate on top of each other. It's going to get ugly very, very soon.
Yes, 18 squads still standing, and we have round 2 nearly finished, closing here in 10 seconds time, and it looks like we might see a little bit more action as this zone does finish to close, and it looks like we are definitely going to have a pylon finish in game number 1. We'll be able to see the map here. I'll bring it up and see exactly where we're going, and looks like it's going to pull towards that south side here of pylon, so where 5 Fears are probably in the best spot.
Yeah, they are looking so relaxed at the moment. Plenty of teams needing to rotate into them, and I mean, we've also got BCG here at the moment, another team that is going to have to go very, very far. Like I said, there is about 4 teams stacked on top of each other in this building at the moment. It is going to get very ugly very soon. This is definitely the place to be for some action, as there's 50 seconds until this ring closes. These teams are going to have to make a decision quickly.
18 squads, round 3, 45 seconds left. This is actually criminal. We have not seen this all week, chat, so here is a surprise. We're just as surprised as you guys. The quality for game number 1 of Split 2 APAC South is on fire, and I'm super excited. We've only lost 2 teams right now, and it doesn't even look like we're close to losing anymore, but BCG look like they're pretty keen to get in on a little bit of an altercation now as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is looking to be, like I said, a little bit more uncomfortable as the time goes on. These teams, they need to rotate. They know that, but they also know they can't just turn their back on the enemy. So BCG trying to go the old-fashioned way, potentially trying to get in with a little bit of aggression here. As we do see the fight starts to break out. Limo is extremely low, but it looks like BCG have got a couple of knocks there, and in fact clean up. Source Gaming go down, keep going, go down in the feed as well. So we have seen a couple of these teams fall as this rotate comes through.
Yeah, we're going from 18 to 15, and it looks like Gen G now, the 4th team, to be in a little bit of unluckiness there, and they will get eliminated. So Fizz 6 Gaming getting the job done there, and all of a sudden we've gone from 18 to 14, and it's Vegas Inferno now who are in some serious trouble going up against Wolves Esports.
Yep, a dangerous team here, Wolves. Like I said, they love to try and get in the action, get those fights happening, but potentially a little bit of a disengage has come out, as I've said that. So it looks like that fight has died down, but this lobby is starting to heat up everywhere else at the moment, Stoney. I mean, there is so much pressure on these teams inside of the ring trying to hold their position.
There is, and Fizz 6 Gaming are looking so good right now. They're taking everyone out on this west side of this zone. And now they have to try and figure a way into the next zone. They've just taken, I think, what's it, 4 KP. So well done there by Fizz 6. And we are now down to 11 squads with round 4 just beginning.
Yeah, TYK also having 4, so they've been popping off screen as well. So we are seeing 11 squads remaining. We lost 7 squads on that rotate, Stoney. That is nuts to see, but this ring is gonna be very interesting, as it looks like it is gonna pull kind of into the open in these future zones on the south side of pylon. So there is not gonna be much cover for these teams that don't have a position set up. We're gonna see a very, very aggressive play coming out soon.
Yeah, it does look like 5 Fears. Like I said, definitely in God spot. They've been here for a while, K-Man, since round 1. So they've done well to call it 5 Fears, the old team of Rival Esports. Definitely one of my favorite teams to watch in this region. Very slept on team, and I'm really happy with my sleeper pick today. But it looks like 5 Fears have DCG to worry about on their north side. And I mean, 11 squads, round 4, 20 seconds still to go. It's a recipe for chaos.
Yeah, this is going to be very explosive, but I think these Southside teams luckily aren't going to have too much to worry about. I mean, Rendang still have to get into the ring. Other than that, everyone else has a pretty nice position in the ring for now. So we are going to see plenty of these teams on the high ground having the opportunity to hold their opponents out. I mean, GD Gaming certainly on this power position, going to be looking to deal some damage, get some hurt out here at the moment. They are a little bit far away from those purple Evos though, so it looks like they have casted themselves for quite a lot of time. So we'll see whether or not they do try and change that up on this next rotate. As we do see teams starting to come in, it looks like we are seeing a bit of pressure mounting over towards 5 Fears, who are doing their best to hold on to the space. But as I said, teams need to rotate in, and Rendang are here.
They are, and it looks like Rendang are trying to come in there as a fresh, hot Rendang. But Phys6 Gaming looked like they did get eliminated with that rotate in, and it's absolute chaos at the moment. Remarkable team, need to be careful as well as they're trying to hold out that teams coming from the north side of this zone. They do rotate into the south side at the moment, and it looks like Bad Aim team are down to a solo here, but 10 teams still alive in this last couple of zones.
Yeah, Bad Aim team looking to try and get a reset. They're going to be a little bit struggling at the moment, you would assume, but Remarkable team still are trying to hold on to this space. As we say, plenty of action kicking off. Teams are running out of space simply. I mean, this fight is going down. 10 squads remaining, 29 players. There's one duo up. Everyone else is still a full team. So much pressure on these teams now that have been in the ring and kind of had a quiet start to the match. It looks like things are going to heat up for them. They've got to be on their guard.
It's going to be interesting to see how this does work out in the long run. Team Mango still all with the blue shields as well. And it looks like MVYB, they were trying to be aggressive. And it does look like Yuling has gone down. So 5 Fears, the team that has been in zone now for majority of the game, they still only have the blue shield. So there's not really of an advantage at this point, K-Man, in this late stages of the game.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to see a few shots going out now. Some serious fights are going to be breaking down at the moment with these teams all starting to rotate in. We can see Remarkable team. They're also one of these teams that have been in a pretty healthy position in Pylon for quite some time, but now is the time to move, and they do it pretty clean there, to be honest, getting the portal out. They are going to have the edge of the ring, but they're not in the most secure spot. Team Mango as well. It looks like they are the team that has been fought here by Remarkable team down to a solo, and they are going to get hunted here for now, but it looks like they maybe just escape, as Remarkable team cannot commit to that. There's way too many teams around them.
That there is, and we've lost a couple of teams here. Rendang's still alive. It looks like DCG are getting into it as well, and it's the teams that are trying to come out of Pylon that are just getting held by 5 Fears and Wolves. And look at D-Cross, they've gone into absolute chaos, and it's Remarkable team that is still somehow alive in this altercation.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a great job on this rotate to just to get that little bit of space for them, but it's not going to be enough because they get cleaned up by TYK, who are also getting third-partied. 5 Fears go down in the feed. TYK gone. 4 squads remain. 11 players, 30. This is chaos, but Wolves Esports, they thrive in this situation.
Man, Wolves Esports, they've been the best team all week in scrims, and they're one of the best teams in the world at the moment as well, and they've proven it, but here comes DCG Rowie. So Rowie being aggressive with... Oh, man, he nearly had it done, but they will try and get that reset, and they are playing that Gibby. So the Gibby pick coming in clutch here.
Yeah, but look looking like the players are trying to send it. We are down to our final two teams. MDYB against Wolves Esports. Wolves will get a reset. MDYB not in a position to capitalize on the revive coming through. Both teams will be full health. And this is going to be about decision making and positioning.
That it will. 2 squads left, and it looks like MDYB with control as well, but it does look like this zone pulls a little bit into the center of this zone, so maybe Wolves Esports looking to keep their impressive gameplay up this week with another win here in game number 1.
Yeah, that Gibby ult just going a little bit wide though. Didn't deal any damage at all, so they're not going to have that to deal with. It will just be down to the Caustic ultimate, I believe. Yeah, Crazy Kong still does have that gas to work with, so that is going to be the tools left for Wolves. MDYB looking like they still have plenty of utility for themselves as well. This is a very, very intense fight. Final ring closing, minute left. It's all going to go down the next 30 seconds as a Kraber shot lands. Obito goes down 2v3. MDYB, can they do it? Can they turn things around? Great shots to come out, but Wolves down to a duo now as well. 2v2 scenario. They have a slight health advantage. Is it going to be enough? We can see the R9 not going to get the job done. 30-30 to finish. It's a 1v1 in the first game of the series. Crazy Kong looking for the shots. He can't land it. How is that shot not finished the job with the PK? I don't know. But MDYB take game 1.
What a finish. MDYB taking the first game of our ALGS APAC South Split 2. My God.
He got hit for 84 flesh. How is he alive? Oh my goodness. Wow. That is a game of inches right there.
Absolute huge game by MDYB, and they will get a, what is that? A 9-kill victory. 21 points to start off in the first game. They'd be pretty happy with that, K-Man. What a beautiful win.
I mean, yeah, can't complain. Getting a dub first up here, as we can see our match summary coming through. Wolves with 7 as well. So they had a 16-point game in that second place. Rendang coming through with an 11-point game. DCG getting 12. So, I mean, yeah, that top 5, pretty close. But MDYB, I mean, that was such a well-played fight there. Obviously, that Kraber shot going out was a great starting point for Wolves, but as a duo, MDYB turn it around and win a 2v3.
Yeah, man, they did so well on that height as well. Having to drop down, I mean, the Kraber in Wolves' hand is kind of scary. So they did well to win it. MDYB with the first win of the day. We'll go and have a look at our series overall. And there we have it. MDYB with the win. So they're sitting on top with 21 points after game number 1. Wolves Esports sitting second. Deep Cross Gaming third. TYK fourth. Rendang in the top 5. We have 5 Fears sitting at 6th position. And they had control of the zone. But like I said, the blue shields, it's just not an advantage at that time of the game. Zone 5, it's yeah, not where you want to be. So Bad Ang team coming 7th so far. JD Gaming 8th, Biz 6 Gaming 9th, and Vegas Inferno in the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, that was a stacked game from start to finish. I mean, there's so much going on. But as you said, the teams that did have that ring positioning, they chose to play passive. And, I mean, at the end of the day, they were always punished for it not having any of that Evo farm. So, I mean, we could probably see a few more mid-game engagements to come out in the next game. I would say probably a few teams wanting to poke and prod a bit more, but yeah, that was such a tight finish. I mean, that was chaos. There was 6 teams on top of each other at one point, but I mean, MDYB, they emerge from the chaos victorious.
That they do, and it does look like Caustic will be the first legend ban here today. So Caustic getting picked 16 times and Alter with a 12. So it's good. Everyone doesn't need to see any more Caustic as we move into the next lot of games. And I mean, it has always started that way, hasn't it, this week? Came in, it's gone Caustic and then at least Watson or Caustic Alter for those first 2 bans.
Yeah, that's been kind of the meta of APAC South. But I mean, to be fair, that's probably also going to increase the pace of the game too. I mean, as we said, like no one was really fighting anyone, but you can't really do it with those caustics on the map. Now that that's gone, obviously, we're probably going to see maybe a couple Watsons come out here and there, but we have seen plenty of those altar picks as well. So maybe a few trap plays coming out on the next Storm Point match, but I mean, Stoney, that was such an entertaining game. Both, all those teams in that top 5, they all had a chance to do it. I mean, we saw even Remarkable Team. They made it a very clean rotate, but they just popped their heads out at the wrong time, and 3 teams looked at them. So that was unlucky for them. I mean, if that's what we are expecting to see for endgames, we are going to be in for a very entertaining set of 6 games.
Yeah, we will. We'll go and have a look at our overall individual kills and damage leaders, and it does look like Yu Ling, he is on top with 6 kills in that game. Paddy Fan Mei Tong sitting second with 4th, and Donut and Roy sitting third with 3 kills each. And we'll have a look at our damage getters, and it's No Name with the 2.1, and he was playing the Gibby there for Wolves, but he did also have that Kraber in the end game, and he was putting out some damage. And I mean, this Wolves team, if they're showing any sign of what they're going to look like coming into this final part of the year for Apex in APAC South, they're definitely the team you want to be looking out for. So No Name on top there with 2.1k damage. You got Donut sitting second, Roy third, Meitong fourth, and Basti in the top 5. And that is our first game done over on Storm Point, and they get a nice 9-kill victory. We have 2 more games left on Storm Point before we head over to the new E district that is now more sunnier than Western Australia has been in the last couple of weeks. What are you looking forward to in these last couple of games on Storm Point?
I mean, like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing a few more mid-game chaos fights. I mean, obviously, without the core 6 here, it's going to be a bit more aggressive. Teams are going to want to try and get themselves back into the contest. Obviously, yes, we did just have 1 game. I think the early game is still going to be pretty stock standard. I mean, there wasn't really too much going on there. A little bit of poking and prodding. Maybe we see that south side engagement coming out yet again. But, I mean, other than that, I think it's going to be a fairly standard start to the lobby. It'll be kind of that second, third ring where I think we are going to see maybe 3 or 4 more teams go down.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be interesting to see exactly if we have the same kind of quality that we had then. Like 18 teams, was it round 4, round 3 or something? It was nuts. So if we had the same again like that, we're in for a bloody good day. And I mean, usually the quality of the games get better on E District. So, I mean, we wait and see, don't we? Wait and see.
100%. I mean, there's a lot more defensive capabilities, I think, on E District with the amount of buildings on there. But, I mean, with the way that Legend Bands 2 tend to go as well, you tend to see the teams really have to rely on their gunplay to hold their ground more than just the utilities. So, that is going to be interesting to see, as we will shortly be heading into our second match of the day, Stoney. I mean, this game, if it delivers anything like game 1, I mean, we may run out of voice by the end of it with the amount of action that we've just casted. But I'll tell you what, game 2, we are moments away from getting into the match, but it looks like we maybe will have a restart. But you know what? Yeah. That's all good, Stoney, because
we need to rest our voice, mate. There you go. Get a drink of water and we'll come back. Yeah. All right, Chad, we're going to hit you with a BRB. It does look like we have a DC. So we'll see you all for game number 2. Hopefully not too far away. Thank you all again for the support and being here today. We're so happy that ALGS and APAC South is back. Like I said, we're just going to try and keep the flame alive for this split, and we'll see what happens after that. But thank you all again for being here. We'll see you all for game number 2. Hopefully not too far away. Thank you for the support and being here today. Back this split, and we'll K-Man and around the corner for game number 2.
competition. Greatness. For some, it is the reason we forge rivalries. Drive to be the best.
Others, mate, we're just here to have a bloody good time. Oh, yeah.
It's not your mind playing tricks on you. It's just me. Maggie's back and ready to rip some heads off.
Hi, friends. Hi, friends. Hey, that's me.
A new game that brings together matchsticks and gunpowder in bloody matrimony. Wild card.
Tickets on sale now. Things are about to get cooked. Legends were harmed in the making of this commercial.
Intriguing. You have my attention. You're welcome.
Time to see if all those drills have paid off.
Nice triple kill. I'd say congrats 3 times, but we're still in.
Alrighty, game number 2, very close to getting underway. It does look like they are choosing their legends at the moment, came in, and we'll see if Wolves can keep up the good work and if MDYB can do the exact same.
Yeah, I mean, that was a stacked lobby in that first one. I mean, we did just see as well in that replay, there was a little bit of a trade there in the final 1v1. I was going to say it made no sense how the Crypto tanked that shot, but I don't know how that worked out. MDYB, though, will be very happy to get themselves off on the right foot with that win. We're going to see the landing zones that are coming out. As you say, it's going to be pretty much more of the same. That coastal camp engagement is going to be interesting. QOR, we'll see whether or not they adapt and maybe try to go a little bit earlier out of Echo for that loot. But yeah, everyone else is going to stick to their loot paths. We'll see kind of what develops around the map.
That we will, as game number 2 is what we're watching, and we'll see where this zone pulls, and it's going to pull towards that Cascade uplift area at the moment. So this will be interesting, and it's kind of good for teams like Source, Remarkable Team, and Biz6, who are very close by to that zone.
I mean, this zone is always chaos in the end game. There's always a third party that comes over the top, just messes everything up for one team or another. It's always great entertainment, and with the stacked as that first lobby was, if it's anything like that, we are going to see some serious smackdowns in these small buildings around this ring. But we're going to be jumping on board with a few of these teams, just trying to loot up, trying to get themselves a bit of a better start here. Bad aim team, the team in Northpad, going to have a little bit of distance to rotate, but for now they are just going to get some ammo, get potentially some weapon upgrades, and then move in.
They will. Bad aim team, they don't have too bad of a rotation really, to be honest, from where they are at North Point. Bad aim team, this is one of our PLQ teams as well that did come through the Pro League qualifiers, and they're one of the teams that I think have been pretty consistent throughout this year in the scrims. I mean, we do the CC and the Pro League scrims at the moment, and we've seen a lot of teams be very consistent lately as well, came in, and hopefully it does show for the weekends.
Yes, hopefully it does. We can see these teams are starting to rotate in central around the map as well. Bad aim team just continuing on their merry way. Full team who also need to make a little bit of a move here, are under a little bit of pressure with some teams around them. We can see there's a few teams starting to rotate in, so it looks like the teams with that ring console potentially understanding how important it is to get central here, and Remarkable team are going to be the defenders of this building, but there's plenty of teams around them looking to challenge.
Yeah, it looks like Source Gaming are moving in on the action, and it's Silly Stepsis, our goat, that is trying to move in on the action, and we have an early fight already, but down goes Rawtu.
Yeah, Rawtu gonna get knocked. Bakary Boo, I believe, is also down, so it is down to Silly Stepsis, who is trying to disengage. They only got the one knock, so Silly Stepsis not gonna commit to that 1v1. Instead, gonna get a reset potentially on this Nexus. Bakary Boo gets out. Can't say the same for Rawtu.
No, but they do use the Void Nexus to try and get a rotate out of that situation, and Stepsis probably could have tried to force the fight, but he did the right thing, rotating away from that, and Remarkable team now do get the chance to reset, but 20 squads still standing, and the only team to lose a member is Source Gaming.
Yep, so I suppose assignment number 1 has been completed for team, holding down this position that they've got themselves into nice and early. Plenty of teams though are going to be set up. I mean, these Watsons are going to be so crucial in terms of just trying to get control of certain doorways and corridors. We can see Rendang doing the same thing, and they will have to also answer the call when they are presented with the challenge of stopping a team invading their territory.
Yeah, that we will, and you can see the amount of Watsons. So as soon as Caustic gets eliminated, Watson comes to play, so it's impressive. And obviously we know that the smoke from Bang does have that electric damage, so might see a fair few bangs as well in here to counter that. But it does look like now Rendang are moving into some action.
Yeah, a little bit here, as we can see. Bastion, is going to get knocked, but they are able to again get a trade here, and Mosu is eliminated. It's Las Vegas Inferno who went in. They have lost a member, so again we're seeing these defensive teams with the positional advantage coming out on top, which should probably to be expected, but that is a big loss, as Nullsang is going to be down to a solo for Vegas Inferno, but MDYB also looking like our game 1 winners are still going strong for now. Going to be positioned outside of any of these buildings, but as a full trio, they're certainly going to be a danger.
And they will, and it's Bad Aim team now trying to stay alive. Here is Shayo, and he's got 2 down here going up against Keep It Going. Okay, have we all just been kicked out of the game?
Had a minor lag spike, but I am still in. Bad Aim team did clean up that fight though, so
Whoa.
Keep Going have been eliminated. Just a quick update on that, but yeah, there was a minor fight,
yeah, that
but
was
yes,
crazy.
we are back.
Okay, so hopefully KPG didn't just go down from that lag spike. That would be not very fair at all. So Source Gaming very close to being eliminated here. It does look like Stepsis is down and out at the moment as well, so wait to see how this works for him moving forward.
Yeah, that is going to be very unfortunate for Source. Rawtu, though, back in it as a solo, trying to do their best to survive. We can see Remarkable team. They're still set up. The Watson proving to be a very, very good pick here, Stoney. I mean, it was probably expected, as you said. When Caustic's gone, that is the next legend up, and it certainly is doing the job.
Yes, it is. All right, sorry. Kids loading bloody games in the house. It killed my bloody stream, but we're back. Vegas Inferno have been eliminated as well, as we have 18 squads still standing here. Game number 2 is what we're watching. A lot of action here early on. Well, sorry, not a lot of action, but we did have an earlier fight, obviously, with that Source trying to rotate into zone. But we'll go and have a look at this map again and see where everyone is at the moment as they are trying to make their way in. And it looks like might have a bit of JD Gaming and Team Mango action.
Yeah, this fight here is going to be breaking up. No weapon fences to be used, which means the Stinger Bolt can just be sent straight in there. Johnny R trying to get a little bit of space, but has to retreat now, chipped up for a bit of damage. It's up to the teammates in support. We can see XD with that charge rifle trying to send it, but none goes down. And this is Team Mango holding on again. Very, very nicely done here for the side of Team Mango, as they have managed to get themselves an extra kill point, and JD Gaming are down to a duo.
They are. Let's go and have a look, and it looks like Source Gaming has somehow had a reset here as well, as Bakary Boo looking to maybe get back in the game. We'll wait and see, but still 18 squads standing here, K-Man. Nothing really happening at the moment. Looks like DCG maybe moving in on NML, and NML now need to try and hold out this push by DCG.
Our third party, though, I believe, has gotten a knock here on towards Lawson, so DCG will have to reset there. That is unfortunate for that team, but luckily they do have that ulta to kind of bail them out of that situation.
Yep, they get out and they do get the reset, and NML somehow stay alive in that situation as well. So game number 2, still the same quality basically as game number 1. 18 squads still standing, and we're in for a good set of games today, I think, Cayman.
Nah, 100%. I mean, Bad Aim Team currently sitting on 3 eliminations, leading the lobby in that respect. But other than that, there's been a few resets to come through. A couple of teams eliminated, but with this next ring closing, this is when we are going to see the pressure start to be dialed up, Sturdy. I mean, there is just not going to be too much room to be had, especially on this north side, where it looks like that next ring is going to pull a little bit south. But all these teams that are on top of each other are going to have to try and just muscle their way through the lobby.
They will. TYK stuck outside here. Looks like they're very close to Lightning Rod. So see if they can rotate in. This team has been pretty good. They won a couple of scrim sets as well. At the moment, we're just hoping to see some fights here. We've only lost 3 teams at the moment, but game number 2. Still got 45 seconds left here of round 2 closing, and we'll have a look at the map one more time before we go and have a look, and it's QOR that are trying to move in on Rendang.
Yeah, Rendang Rendang, I believe, did reset. They were in the action, but they did have the Void Nexus, so I think they were just trying to farm a little bit more Evo, and that is kind of what we have seen a little bit more of, Sony, I want to say, is Team Mango, as you say, getting into this engagement. We're seeing these teams going for this damage trade a little bit more. It's led to a few knocks and resets, because people are finding out how important armor is, but JDG, it looks like they've gone back in against Team Mango, and it's the same result. They get knocked back down.
Yeah, but JDG are somehow holding their own. I say that a little bit too late, as JD Gaming do get the job, don't get the job done there, but Team Mango getting the job done. But it looks like Wolves Esports coming in for the third party.
Yeah, and I mean, Team Mango are down to just that solo of Donson, so they're going to try and maybe find some sort of a reset, but the rest of the map is starting to heat up as well. We can see a Bad Aim Team going for a little bit of a sneak play here in, I believe that's the north side of the zone. So they are still outside of this next ring, and they are looking to get into this engagement very quickly.
They are. Bad Aim Team very close to NML and Mido, and it looks like they've taken where Bad Aim Team were. They've gone to the height, and Bad Aim Team has taken the building, and they've kind of just switch positions here. And Bad Aim Team, I feel like they have the better shields. Like I said, you don't really want to be in this part of the game still with a blue.
No, you don't, but luckily with this Watson, at least they will get the regen on the shield, so that is something to go their way. But they've got to make a decision very quickly here, Stoney. They're just going to sit on top for now and kind of wait for Bad Aim Team to rotate out first. This could get very ugly for both teams. The Silly Billies are in an engagement as well. They are looking to try and win this fight quickly, but it looks like they may have rushed things a little bit as they lose a member. Yeah, they're going up against DCG, and they've set it up really well with that Watson. They need to be careful. It does look like Silly Billies get third-partied, and we're about to see Louis nearly go down. Does he? No, he stays alive, but it's a 3v3 fight here up against Rendang, who have been so aggressive using that ulta to their advantage. Yep, and they just reset out yet again. So, I mean, this altar is just being such a ratty play at the moment, and they do have quite a bit of damage, as you can see. We got Bastion on that purple Evo, but in the feed, NML looking like they have had to rotate eventually. They go down, and VK Gaming also under a lot of pressure here at the moment, Sony.
Yeah, but they're going to get the job done, and Fizz6 Gaming are going to get eliminated. So if VK thought they had a time to rest, they don't, because here comes the third party of Remarkable Team, and it's all starting to pop off a bit here, but they will use that Wraith portal to rotate back out. So VK Gaming stay alive, and they get to hold that north side of zone.
Yeah, but speaking of holding, BCG, I mean, they are set up in such a nice position with a charge rifle to boot as well. They could definitely do some damage, but Rendang, they are going to get ticked out by the ring. They didn't rotate in time. I'm sorry, that's bad. 18, they go down. Rendang stay alive. Sorry about that. I saw the kill feed popping off, but that is Rendang who just managed to survive on that north side of zone. So it looks like they just managed to sneak their way into this next ring. They're going to have to get a reset here, potentially at some point, but DCG are moving in, and it looks like they're trying to clean things up.
Yeah, we're always being aggressive, and they will get rid of Rendang. So Rendang go out as DCG looked to move in on the action, and now all of a sudden TYK just using that ultra Q to try and stay alive for a little bit longer, not getting shot. We have Wolves Esports still alive, by the way, K-Man, and in a very good spot in zone.
I mean, yeah, this is a classic Wolves Esports Gaming, just on the prowl, almost on the hunt, looking to third party a fight here. There's not going to be too much for them to do for now, though. We can see they have pretty much half this ring to themselves. They can hold whoever they like at the moment. As for these teams outside of the ring, VK Gaming, as we said, our EWC champions, did have a very rough first game, but they are still in it as a trio here, and we're seeing some very nice shots coming out with this 30-30.
We are game number 2. 10 squads still alive. Round 4 closing, and we're about to see what VKG have up their sleeves here for their rotate in. They need to be careful. It does look like TYK. It's Meitong trying to force a little third-party swing here, and VK Gaming looking to get involved, but they do need to be careful because this rotate in here is where it's going to test them.
I mean, I don't see how they're going to get out of this, to be honest. Down to a duo after lobby to look at them. They're just going to do their best. It's a bit of a team deathmatch scrap going on as VKG go down. TYK also eliminated on this rotate. This is looking brutal at the moment, but Remarkable Team still have a little bit of distance to go. They at least have a nice setup on their rotate. They're going to look to try to get a bit of KP before they move.
But they will. 8 squads still alive. Looks like DCG will get eliminated, and Remarkable Team now holding their own in this situation, and it looks like Wolves Esports are getting into it. They will get rid of MDY Black, and we are now down to 6 squads for round number 5, and we have about 1 minute and 14 seconds left here until this starts to close, and we might see a Wolves win here instead of what we thought was going to happen in game number 1.
I mean, they did it early, right? They did the job early. They got rid of MDY Black before the final 3v3. So they're going to get themselves a nice position again. I mean, they're the only team in this safe ring is BCG still getting into an engagement here. 5 Fears as well on the edge of the ring as a trio looking to try and take them on. This is a brutal fight for both teams. I don't really know how either team is going to rotate out now. They're very committed in these positions, and we can see it. A team like QOR or Remarkable Team as a third party certainly is going to make this a very, very difficult fight for even these two teams to go through.
Oh, shit! They do. They commit big, and they do well. Backlog Gaming getting eliminated. Now they get a chance to have a chance to reset. So we're down to our final 5 teams. BCG getting eliminated, and Remarkable Team still on that kind of northwest side of zone here. And they need to try and figure out their rotate in, and they will use that Wraith portal to try and find the spot they want to play.
Oh my gosh, they just went past Reeves as well, who was a solo for QOR. He's going to stay alive here as a rat on this Watson. That Wraith portal nearly looking at it. He will survive. Very, very intense, though. It's going to be a very difficult rotate for this Watson. 5 squads remain. The only solo is QOR. We are gonna see the rest of the teams rotating in. It looks like Gen G have actually pinched Wolves as well in this zone, so they are going to be in the dead center of the action, Stoney.
Yeah, my boys, 5 fears, my pick, and all of a sudden the Wolves are kind of getting put in a pickle because Gen G have pushed behind them here and forced a little bit of action, and they will get eliminated. So out they go, and Remarkable Team, that's kind of helped Remarkable Team here rotate in and take a pretty good spot in this north side of zone.
Yeah, they have the solo as well eliminated for QO up. 3 teams standing are all trios. A bit of a reset on the health needs to come through for 5 fears. They will get it. The Remarkable Team are sending it. They're going aggressive, Stoney, very early, and Gen G could third party.
Gen G playing a little bit of get under the broom, whatever that used to be called at those discos, and it gets underneath the bloody fence. Look at the shot control there by Asia, and he's going to move in and clean up Remarkable Team, and we now have a Gen G versus 5 fears fight to finish off game number 2, and Asia is cooking.
He is absolutely 5 fears. They are the ones that are... GoGaps will get to the low ground with F4 as well on his tail, but it's all down to the solo here. And as that fight started, it finishes with Asia and an R9 1 clip to come through. Disgusting gameplay for Gen G. Stoney, they're one of the favorites for a reason, and they just proved why.
Yeah, it's Asia's world, and we're all just living in it at the moment. He is a
7
freak.
kills.
Absolute freak, and they get the W. 7 kills. He had 2.5k damage. His team didn't even get the same amount of damage as him put together. So good game 2 there by Gen G. It's our second one on the Storm Point, and we'll go and have a look now at the match summary, and it does look like Gen G with a nice 22-point game here. 5 fears coming second, Remarkable Team third, QOR Gaming fourth, and Wolves in 5th position. Our series overall, and it's Wolves sitting on top so far after 2 games with 27 points. Gen G Esports sitting second, with 26. Wolves sitting first with 27. MDYB sitting third. Deep Cross Gaming fourth, and 5 fears rounds out the top 5. We'll go and have a look at our character pick rate, and I reckon I know who is getting banned, and it is going to be Watson. So Watson is out. We do lose our 2 legends that we thought we would lose early on, and Caustic and Watson both get eliminated.
Yes, Alta survives by 1 pick, so that is going to be good news for some of these teams that do obviously play fair bit of Alta, and it's such a versatile legend to see still in. So 2 controllers are out, and it has been interesting, Stoney, because when these defensive characters have been taken out, we've seen the occasional Rampart come up. So I'm interested to see whether or not a team wants to try and go that route of just pulling out the minigun almost and laying waste to the lobby, or if they do go for a bit of a safer pick. But yeah, this is going to be very, very interesting. Things are going to heat up, and it looks like we also are going to have to talk about the top fraggers at the moment, Stoney, because that leaderboard has shaken up a little bit.
It has, and look at Asia. He only had 1 kill after that first game, so he's put himself in a really good position to keep him where he all is at the moment. Oh, yeah, sorry, it's reading the chat. Rowie, he's been very aggressive as well. No Name sitting third, and Yueling and DCG rounding out with 6 kills. We go and have a look at our damage getters. And who do you see there, K-Man, that's making some noise?
I mean, it is going to be at the top of our leaderboard. Obviously, Wolves are still popping off. I mean, they had a good game there, to be fair. No Name, almost 4k damage. And Asia had, I believe, was it 2,400 damage in that 1 game alone, and now it's on 2,900. That is a ridiculous pop-off match there, as we are going to see our top 5 rounded out with Heck, GoGaps, and DCG. So that is going to be very, very handy damage to come through. And I suppose when you have a big game like that, and Asia is shooting the way he is, he's never going to be far away from that top damage.
No, he's so good, man. I mean, Asia just showed then, I think he ran a charged rifle R9 to finish the game. And it's disgusting. So, did God's work there, did the man. Heck coming third with 2.7 and Go Gaps in the top 4 as well. So, after 2 games, we've had a fair bit of action. And it's looking pretty juicy. We'll go and have a look at the map overlay. And it looks like we have another winner once again.
Yes, we do. And I mean, it's good variation here, right? Obviously seeing Gen G and MDYB getting the job done. Wolves, I mean, they've been so close twice now, but they are still going to be up the top of the leaderboard despite not getting a win just yet. We're going to head into our 3rd match of Stormpoint and Stony. I mean, hey, I've been enjoying the 2 different zones. We'll see if we can get a 3rd one as well. Maybe a bit of a war zone or something a bit different. That would be very, very nice to see and kind of, you know, share the love for all the teams around the map.
Yeah, that there will be. I mean, we only got one more on Storm Point before we head into E District. So, chat, appreciate you all being here once again. I am Stony, and you're with K-Man. We're not too far away from getting into game number 3. We'll see you all just around the corner. Stay classy. Go and get yourself a drink of water, something to eat. We still have 4 games of action. And I'll tell you what, it has been action so far.
Competition. Greatness. For some, it is the reason we forge rivalries. Drive to be the best.
Others, mate, we're just here to have a bloody good time.
Here we go, game number 3. It's our final game on Storm Points before we head over to E District. And it does look like everyone is in the lobby. Wait to see how we go.
Yep, so obviously we are going to see a little bit of a difference in the character picks here. We're actually seeing a couple of Ashes coming out as well as Catalyst. So that is a couple of the characters being picked. I do see a Rampart as well, so I did hint at that. A couple of those teams have opted to go again for another defensive character, a little bit more aggressive, I suppose, if you're looking at the amplified damage. But yeah, these pick rates definitely are going to mix things up, and seeing Catalyst come out is going to be something a little bit different for us. Though we see it happen occasionally in the scrims, but it hasn't been picked too often. So I'm interested to see how that plays out, especially on an open map like Stormpoint, having that wall to cover some rotates is going to be very handy.
Yeah, and it looks like for our third game, we are heading to the west side. So we've been pretty lucky. We had one south, one in the middle, and one west. It's all we can ask for in the observing world of Apex. But game number 3 is live. And it looks like... Where are we sitting at the moment? Well, we have the boys of MDY Black who do have milk.
Yeah, they're going to be very happy to not have to make the long trek this time. They will just be able to loot up their area in peace, stay nice and chill, and then do their best to hold down whatever position they go for here. But it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, obviously, with that Watson being banned away, how teams are going to hold down the area is going to be extremely interesting, as we can see a few rotates coming in on the map. Everyone is getting a bit more information. MDY, they're going to be very, very happy to reveal that they are inside the next ring as well, Stoney.
Yeah. Oh, man, I'm so happy that no one is downloading NBA 2K in my house again. My stream will not drop out, I promise you. Oh, man, that was funny. But we'll go and have a look at the map and see what it looks like at the moment. And it looks like we got a little bit of Cedo action.
Yeah, Rendang, they just kind of seem to escape early action in this lobby. Everybody just seems to rotate straight into their path. Keep Going Gaming, they have gotten into Cedo very early on. In fact, there are a couple of teams coming in. We can hear some teams landing as well. And that is going to be 5 Fears landing on top. So that is a lot of action to come through for these teams. As we do see, Keep Going is now going to be stuck in a little bit of an engagement with their new...
5 Fears. 5 Fears sitting in the middle as well. They're holding the height here of Cedo. They are going to use that Void Nexus and move back to where they want to be. KPG, they're still alive, holding in the middle of Cedo also, but we haven't seen anyone really get too aggressive as of yet. It's kind of just a lot of 30-30 G7 scout action here in game number 3, but we can see KPG, they're just going to have to overlook as Phys6 Gaming. They're close by as well, so a lot of teams in this Cedo area here.
Yeah, it's starting to get a bit cramped at the moment. I mean, we know how powerful these central buildings can be in these games. Obviously, that ring may pull a little bit more further west at the end of the game, but for now, Cedo definitely one of the more secure places on the map. As we can see, plenty of teams starting to rotate in. And we have Phys6, like I said, with that Rampart getting themselves set up.
Yeah, Phys6 Gaming. 20 squads still standing. This is our 3rd game of the evening. And look at the teams that are rotating in to Mill as well here, K-Man. So it'll be interesting to see exactly where this zone pulls. Sometimes it pulls down to B. Sometimes it can pull Mill. Or it will pull to Cedo. A lot of teams are playing that Cedo side, as we have seen. But if you call the Mill zone early, you're in an advantage, I think, a little bit more than the teams that call the Cedo zones early.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much cover in Cedo. If you get yourself, even in a little bit late, if you can get yourself into a ready spot, it's certainly very nice. For Mill, you can't say the same. There's only a couple of secure buildings, and they've already been claimed by these teams around here. So it's going to be very, very difficult if those teams at Cedo don't pull. As you said, we are going to see a few charge rifles getting some knocks in the feed as well, as it looks like we are going to see nobody getting eliminated just yet, but certainly some damage being exchanged, and that's going to be good for certain teams' evos.
Yeah, well, we do know that early game you do have those teams that like to kind of farm their evos early on, especially if you are rotating to position early to try and hold that position for that game. Getting those early knocks and farming your evo. I mean, we've seen that at EWC when VKG did it. You know, Jayhawk talked about it really well, that without them doing that, they don't get the game that they had. So it's an interesting strat, but it does work for these teams. And we are now in game number 3. Does look like, though, round 1 is only 45 seconds away from closing here, and it looks like Zicky's going for a little slide down.
Yeah, I mean, Genji will get the reset on Dexter. He comes to charge rifle to the face. We've seen a few of those this game already, but it looks like there's a bit of an engagement going on here. Just around Mills, it looks like Remarkable team getting a bit antsy, want to get into the action quickly.
They do. I mean, we've seen a fair bit of kidnaps the other day in scrims.
Yeah.
Our cats here with strafing, so maybe
That
we'll
was
see a
something
couple
else.
of kidnaps today. We'll wait and see, but it does look like Deep Cross Gaming, they're in a bit of trouble here, having to rotate around that side, and now also Bad Aim team forced to rotate through also, so they need to be careful as they're about to get held out here, and it doesn't look good. VK Gaming gonna get the cleanup.
Yep, the Trident having a little bit of a car crash there at the moment as 2 players are knocked, make that 3. Bad Aim team go down in a blaze of glory. That is our first team eliminated, and VKG do end up getting the spoils of battle. So that's good to see here, VKG. Obviously, we did say in that first game, surprised to see them go down early, but since then, they've been able to get into the game and look pretty good. As we can see, Source Gaming in a bit of a fight as well.
Yeah, it looks like they got it down already on KPG, so hopefully Source can keep their aggressive gameplay on, and they might be able to move in on the action, but they do have to be careful because at the moment, this is not the place you want to be. And look at that zone, like I said, holding Mill early is an advantage. These teams from this Cedo side now, K-Man, have such a tough task in front of them with this rotate in.
I mean, yeah, we'll see how many teams even survive in Cedo at the moment. As you said, there is a few scraps going down. Keep Going Gaming are going to stay alive as a duo for now. We are going to see plenty of teams around here. Source Gaming getting a bit antsy, getting a bit aggressive on their counterparts. And for now, it looks like Keep Going Gaming are doing a good job of at least holding them back.
Yeah, they need to be careful though, Source. You don't want to go down here and give KPG that chance to have the rotate in, and it's not too... I don't think it's going to be very far away until another team comes in anyway, and we're about to see probably like 4 to 5 teams in this area getting into it. So 19 squads still standing. We have round 2, 15 seconds away, and it does look like Stepsis is going to move into the hype.
Yep, they are going to send it as a team. It works out very nicely to get the first. There is going to be a knock, a bit of a trade going on. So it is the solo now for Keep Going Gaming. Trade Leader gets another knock. No way. He's just pulled that off. How is that possible? I think he goes down anyway as there is a third party coming in. He will, in fact, unfortunately. But Keep Going Gaming will be very happy to take the extra KP.
Damn. Tree cleaner. Dude. I don't know if there's a tree out there called Source Gaming, but he cleaned that one very well just then. Phys6 Gaming gonna hold the height, and we have now down to 17 squads left standing. And NML, they're looking, getting looked at the moment by Phys6. And I mean, we still have 17 squads standing. I mean, that was gonna happen, K-Man. As soon as that fire happened in the middle of Cedo, there was gonna be another team coming up.
Yeah, as you said, those Source, they just hung around, made a lot of noise, and unfortunately, they couldn't execute, and they did get third parties. So that is going to be the start of their demise. We can see the other teams around the map outside of Cedo trying to get a rotate on. Team Mango, one of those teams that are going to get claimed by these teams that are set up already. Very, very unfortunate for them, but VK Gaming still going strong for now.
They are. They're moving in on the action. It looks like they're going up against TYK, and TYK will get eliminated. So out go TYK here early. 15 squads still standing, and VKG are starting to warm up a bit.
Yes.
Maybe they just had the early game blues. Maybe they don't even need training or practice.
Yep, LQ Dud, current kill leader in the lobby with 4. They're looking very, very handy. VK Gaming have 6 in total, so a very big game potentially on the cards for them. We are going to see, though, some other teams that are rotating around on this north side of zone. We got, obviously, Las Vegas Inferno, who are a little bit split up at the moment, but they have got secure positions. They're going to be looking over each other's backs and just trying to hold back any teams that potentially want to make a play on them, as we can see QOR, sorry, Silly Bees, who are one of those teams just looking over towards them. A couple of weapon upgrades to come through, but no action just yet, Stoney.
Nope, none yet. 15 squads still standing. We're going to have a look at that zone, and it is going to be the one that pulls towards Remarkable Team and MDYB. So they did well to call this earlier. I said there's not much real estate, like you said, to hold in this middle zone. So having these two buildings, when they do, it's worked out well. So at the moment, we are now just watching teams trying to rotate in, and it looks like maybe we'll see a little bit of DCG and JDG action.
Yep, obviously both teams never too far away from the action. Bearclaw Gaming, they are also going to be rotating through, but DCG are getting into a bit of a scrap here as they try to rotate out. And JD Gaming, who are down to a duo, are actually looking to hold them and fight this. An interesting decision here at the moment, but it looks like for now they do at least have this crossfire set up. An attempted kidnap to come through from DCG. Not going to find it instead. They just push out aggressively and they just take the fight straight up.
They do, and they do it well. They should clean this up. But going up against JR, but it's not enough. DCG getting the job done. So 14 squads left standing. Well done there by Deep Cross Gaming. They now get a rotate in front of them, but I don't like their chances here in this situation. It looks like NML are moving in on to a third party with VK Gaming and Fizz6 Gaming.
Yeah, Fizz6 definitely were on top of this one, as we do see VK Gaming down as they get cleaned up. And Fizz6 now on the back foot, looking to reset on their health. The flurry of nades coming in is going to be so much to deal with. Somehow they survive it. I don't know how. NML just going to pass through and try to get their way into the ring. BCG as well under pressure, but they've taken down a couple of players here. It looks like DCG go down. Plenty of action at the moment, Stody. 12 squads remaining, and there are not 12 safe positions in this ring.
Nah, man, this is crazy. We're going to every fight that we possibly can, and it's Fizz6 that are getting into it with NML, and NML will get the job done, but it looks like Noobles is going to be a solo little Noobles by himself here in the spider cave, and they are doing well. But we have gone down now to 11 squads, and it looks like 5 Fears moving in some action as well.
Yep, this is APAC South Apex. I mean, the fights are going out everywhere at the moment. Rendang, 5 Fears, who are down to a solo at the moment. It looks like the Altar is trying to escape here. Go Gaps. Can they survive? No, a third party to take them out, I believe, in fact. So 5 Fears go down. As you can see, BCG, they've shown up. I don't know where they've come from, but they're in the action now. Looking for third party, looking for the shots. They are going to clean up with a couple more KP, and they are looking very good at the moment. BCG on 7, Stoney.
They are, and we are getting into a lot of action. We have 9 squads still alive, and Asia is up on Godrock at the moment with a Bocek MP 2020. So let's just hope he stays up there for everyone's sake, and he should be okay. But Remarkable Team looking to try and find that solo here of NML, and I don't mind this rotate in here to try and clean it up.
Yep, definitely going to be Remarkable Team making a good decision here to go aggressive, and they will attempt to find the finish. I believe NML have gone down to QOR anyway, so Razi. Oh no, Razi getting a pick on someone else. So yeah, that is the solo being dealt with. They do see Silly Billies. They are still here at Mills, still controlling the area, but they're going to have Wolves to deal with in front of them before they get into the ring.
Yep, that we will. And they are looking pretty good here, QOR. Where are they sitting? They have only 2 kills at the moment as Razi with the Kraber in hand. Definitely one of the most talented players coming out of PLQ. He was in Pro League Split 1 for a couple of weeks with Source Gaming, who are now Boogie Borders. Did get dropped, and they brought in Raki. And now 8 squads left standing, and Razi's trying to prove this split that he still belongs in Pro League. Let's have the Kraber. Okay, 150 with the Kraber. Beautiful shot as we move into these final stages of round 4 and round 5. There's about a minute left until that starts to close.
And And this is pulling into the absolute middle of nowhere. Remarkable team are going to be the only team with cover, Stoney. That is going to be very interesting, as we can see QOR still trying to find some safe haven. We can see Reese with that drone as well, trying to scout around, but Wolves Esports never far away from the action, still in this lobby, posing a massive threat to everybody as Silly Billies are down to a solo.
Yeah, I don't like their chances. They will get eliminated, and they do. So Silly Billy's gone. We're now down to our final 7 squads, and you also have Gen G still alive as well. So if you weren't scared, you should be scared now. Asia on the Ash. She has the Hemlock and the P2020s in hand, and I reckon that QOR will be the team that they want to get rid of here early.
Well, QOR do have that crypto drone going around and scanning, so that is going to be the information. They're very aware of Gen G's position. As we can see, 19 players alive. That solo is on BCG. It is Heck as the solo Sparrow, so I don't like his chances on that rotate, but we are going to see Gen G continuing to wait for their time on the rotate. As we can see on the map, it looks like MDYB have rotated underneath Remarkable team for now. That's going to get very, very uncomfortable for both teams, but there's no sense in griefing each other just yet.
Yes, not at the moment, but I don't like this. This is going to be so hard for QOR to rotate in, because I don't think they have anything in front of them to play. They know there's a solo for BCG. If they can try and get some kills here, is a bullet, but they don't get him. Yuling does. So it looks like QOR Gaming gonna rotate in, but they've gone straight to the team of MDYB that are playing underneath already.
Yep, there is no room here for 3 teams whatsoever, and QOR team in. Looks like they are being punished here. Remarkable team getting a bit curious, going, what the hell is going on our front porch? But it looks like plenty of teams are getting in the action at the moment, as Razi gets a couple knocks in the feed. Gen G have shown up as a third party, and we are going to see the action is well and truly kicking off as Gen G get a reset.
Yeah, and it's Vegas Inferno rotating up the hill, and they will get rid of Wolves Esports, and QOR get rid of... Was that Remarkable team? No, Gen G. Remarkable team get rid of Gen G, and all of a sudden we are now down to our final 2 teams. I mean, that is just chaos. And look at this Ash move in as a solo.
Yeah, Nolsang going aggressive, trying to get some early damage before the team shows up. Maybe the advantage. We can see Mosu still on blue Evo, so that is going to be a point of concern for Vegas Inferno, but it looks like he has swapped out to a purple anyway, so they will be equal health.
Oh, they're kidnapped!
Remarkable team get a kidnap with the Wraith. They go in, they're looking to try and punish. They're not going to find it just yet. Vegas Inferno now need to be careful. They hold the high ground, but this zone is about to push everyone into the open.
Yeah, that they are. 2 squads left standing, and Remarkable team and Vegas Inferno are our final 2 teams. And I don't like what Vegas are doing. They have Sato sitting on the hill, so he can overlook if they do rotate out. They have the Void Nexus in hand as well, which is going to work in their favor. So I do like at the moment, you know, how they're looking.
Yeah, I mean, look, their win condition is going to be around this Stinger-Bolt anyway, so Sato sitting safe is going to be a pretty common sense strategy, if I'm being honest. The 30-30 going to start ringing out. That is onto an opposition Sparrow in Turbo, so a bit of damage to be coming through here. As the ring starts closing, this team needs to try and get out. We can see Remarkable team getting beaten. They're pinned down. I think Vegas Inferno have the position. The Stinger-Bolt's already out there. The Ash getting in, causing chaos, and this should be a pretty clean wrap-up of Vegas Inferno. They'll lose 1 member getting knocked, but that is a very, very classy finish to the match.
Yeah, that was a beautiful win by Vegas Inferno, holding the spot that they needed to get the job done, and they will get the final win on the Storm Point here. And they had a nice 6-kill victory.
Yeah, it was a pretty neat game. Like I said, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't the trading shots going back and forth, but it was just clean enough to get the job done. I mean, Sato, that rotate out to that rock with the Stinger Bolt, very well played. Nolsang played spoiler at the end as well, as we can see the 6 kills coming through. Not the most damage, like we said. It wasn't a pop-off game. It wasn't some insane 30-point game or anything like that, but it's good enough to get the job done, and it's a very, very good finish to Storm Point.
That it is. We'll go and have a look now at the match summary and the series overall. And Vegas Inferno with an 18-point game. Remarkable team with a 16. Gen G coming third, QOR fourth, and MDYB rounding out the top 5 there. We'll have a look at our series overall, and after the first 3 games, Gen G, they're leading the way with 37 points. Wolf Esports sitting second, MDYB third, Remarkable Team fourth, and Deep Cross Gaming rounding out the top 5. I mean, it's still very, very close, and anything can happen over on E District. We'll go and have a look at our character pick rates and which one is going to get banned moving in to the following games, and it will be Alter. So no more Alter here for the E District games, and that's kind of cancer. I think E District with no Alter is going to be a lot of ashes.
Indeed, it is going to be. So, I mean, obviously, E District, a very, very different map to Stormpoint. We are going to see quite a lot of different gameplay, but without that Alter in, I mean, that's going to be interesting because we've seen a lot of teams practice with that Alter, right, Sony? I mean, E District is just such a nice map for Alter to be played on. Just those TPs getting around, those little trap plays and all that. So it's going to be an interesting 3 games coming up to not see that gameplay whatsoever. The Sparrow, though, still being in is going to be a big talking point. I think that we did just see it in that game as well. Sparrow, when played correctly, having your Stinger Bolt up in a fight is everything.
Yeah, I mean, the Sparrow is such a good pick. Such a good pick. Especially in these late stages of these games. And I think on E District, we're going to see a fair bit of Sparrow, like you said. So I reckon we're probably going to see a lot of Ash. You'll see a lot of Catalyst, maybe even Rampart. We did see a lot of Ramparts as well in the games throughout the week. So it'll be interesting as we move towards these next stages of these games. We do have an 8-minute break, so we've got a lot to talk about. And it looks like we're going to start here with the kill leaders.
Yep, no surprise to see Asia has shot the way up to the top 10 kills in 2 games. So a little bit quiet in that in that first game, but after that, Gen G certainly have made their presence felt on the server. We're going to see Roy on 9 as well for DCG. We can see Youngling with 8, No Name, and DCG's third member cleaning things up with 7 apiece. So a lot of consistency from these top teams, a lot of frags to come through, as we have seen pretty much for the last few weeks. If you're doing well, you're getting end games, it means you're winning fights, and it is being reflected on the leaderboard.
That it is. So beautifully done there. We'll go and have a look at our damage leaders, and it's still the man on the gibby, and it is No Name from Wolves. He has 5.5k damage, Asia with the 4k, Heck with 3.7, Basti with the 3.5, and Turbo with the 3.4. We'll go and have a look at the map overlayers. That was our final game over on Stormpoint, and there are our 3 winners. I mean, it was pretty consistent throughout the K-Man on Stormpoint. Is there anything you kind of want to talk about those 3 games with the teams that won?
Well, we kind of saw 3 different styles of win, right? I mean, obviously, MDY, they were in a sort of power position in that first game, if you take your mind back to that 2v3 against the Wolves, but they did it from a disadvantageous spot, and they managed to turn the fight on its head, and somehow there was a bit of a trade or something going on at the end, but they got the job done. It was very, very scrappy. Gen G completely mowed the lobby, and then Vegas Inferno played a very clean game to win it. So we saw 3 different styles of gameplay work, which is really, really interesting. And I think that E District, I mean, it's a very, very different map. So it'll be interesting to see if we get a different form of gameplay winning in game number 4.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I mean, E District, we know that is kind of chaos as well, right? So we'll see probably a lot more teams in the end games for E District. I mean, now that there's no Caustic and Watson, I kind of feel like Caustic and Watson save the quality of the game, right? You can not really push a team with a Caustic, but now that Caustic's not in the lobby, what's stopping you pushing that team? So, I mean, Catalyst isn't really that scary to go up against anymore. The Rampart walls aren't really that scary. I mean, Bangalore's still in the bloody game. So, you know, anything, the confidence, I think, now for those teams that have won those past games in Stormpoint, I wouldn't be surprised if we see one of those 3 win another one on E District.
For sure. I mean, confidence is everything in these lobbies, right? When it gets down to the end of it, it comes down to those final moments. You just got to back yourself, and that is going to be the key to success. So these teams that do have a win on the board mentally are going to be on that high. They're going to be pushing for that #1 spot now. I mean, it's going to be very, very interesting to see because, I mean, as we said at the top of the show, and pretty much everyone else, other than me, who seems to know what's going on, this is just going to be the group stage. This isn't elimination. This isn't anything like that. So this is about staying consistent and pacing yourselves. And those teams that do have a win already are going to want to finish with 3 solid games. Even if they don't end up getting a win, at least trying to get those top 5s and be consistent.
Yeah. And Gen G sitting on top of the leaderboard proves why they're a top 5 team in the world, right? So starting the day already in the first 3 games, leading from the front, is going to show why that team is such a consistent team and a team to be scared of throughout this split. We're very close to getting into game number 4, guys. We're heading over to E District. I do seriously appreciate all the love and the support today. Thank you guys so much for being here. We are the official, I call it that, but we don't have any drone observers. I'm the only observer. We have 2 casters. I'm going to try and give you guys the best show that I can throughout these next 5-6 weeks. And I do appreciate you guys all being here. If you guys do have a YouTube account, we are live over on the Battlegrounds OCE YouTube. If you guys do see the Zowie link in the chat, that is one of the Battlegrounds OCE sponsors as well, who help us get an MVP award for the Challenger Circuit players that we cast as well. So busy month ahead for Battlegrounds OCE. We have CC and we have Pro League, but we're living for it. We do also have a map stream. One of the awesome mods that I have running a map stream as well. So if you guys do want the map stream, exclamation, whatever the word is with the map, and it will send you there that link, right? So you just do that. You can go watch the map stream as well. Guys, I'm Stoney. This is K-Man, and we'll be right back here for game number 4 just around the corner.
Even if there is no end to the pursuit of perfection, never cease striving for perfection. Zowie understands without the right mouse shape, performance can be impacted, thus not unleash your full potential. Various shapes with designs validated by sports science for performance, comfort, and endurance. Zowie applies sports science to analyze pro player gaming performance data, researching differences in hand styles and grip styles. Apply scientific analysis to esports to ensure consistent FPS performance. Enjoy better agility and precision for long-range and secondary targeting while tracking enemies. The FK's low-profile design allows for more space and thus creates micro-adjustments between palm and mouse. Our tests show that the FK delivers faster aiming while making micro adjustments during shooting. The ZA series provides faster and more precise long-distance flick shots. ZA's higher hump provides full palm support, balancing muscle exertion on both sides. The curvy sides enhance palm muscle activation for precision braking and greater aiming accuracy. S provides more stable and accurate tracking. The shorter design.
Alrighty, game number 4 about to get underway here, chats. As we are about to see if we can get another winner of today. We've had a different winner. I don't think we've seen a back-to-back winner all week, hey man.
No, but I guess that shows how competitive this region is, right? I mean, even we've got the EWZ champions of BK Gaming yet to get their W as well on the board, which we were expecting to, you know, maybe see them come out early and dominate. But with that new roster, it looks like they are still finding their feet. They're still being solid, like I said. They've been hit thereabouts, but we are yet to see a big game from them. But in terms of all the winners that we have seen today, I think it has been a pretty good 3 games on Storm Point. Like we said, 3 different zones, 3 different winners. So we'll see whether or not we get a bit more of the same on E District, or if we do just see Energy Bank take all 3 zones, which sometimes can happen.
Yeah, it can, and it most likely will. We'll wait and see. If we get another Energy Bank zone here for E District, and as we say that, we got an Energy Bank zone. So remarkable team with the bloody good choice pick there on E District. So, I mean, this game is just becoming a little bit... What's that?
That stadium.
Ooh,
Keep On Gaming have invaded. They've invaded Source. This is a very aggressive push early on here. We could see some early action here, Stoney, if Source aren't careful.
Yeah, that we could. I mean, it does look like Raw 2 nearly went down, and KPG, they have a lot of confidence in themselves as well. So they know that if they want to move in on this fight, they definitely can.
Yeah, they got the knock as well. Great beams to come through. And it looks like Source Gaming are going to be the first team. Sure, the Rampart is down. So maybe Raw 2 is going to have to try and escape as Silly Stepsis looks to stall them out as long as possible. That is exactly what happens in Source Gaming, down to a solo early on. KPG going aggressive.
Yeah, this doesn't look good. So Source have been kind of caught off guard really since Storm Point. They, you know, those zones, they had one that was in the middle. That was right very close to them. They moved in to be aggressive to Remarkable Team straight away. Didn't work out. They were trying to be aggressive as well to KPG in game number 3. Didn't work out. So they're just, at the moment, nothing's really working out for them. Hopefully they can relax. Like I said, it's their first ever split in Pro League, so we shouldn't, hopefully, have too much of a problem.
Yeah, we are seeing a lot of action though at the moment here. We can see plenty of teams rotating into Energy Bank. I think of how that zone is going to... We can see here on board with Silly Billies, who are one of the teams that, at least for now, are gonna have to make a long rotate, I believe. Oh no, they are in the ring already. Sorry, I got mixed up on where we were on the map there. So they are gonna be chilling for now, but looks like NML can't say the same for them.
Nah, it's Tom Yong Kong that are moving in. So Maytong and Paddy Fan, YRV is down. So this is the old team of Frozen Cat. Well, a couple of members are from Frozen Cat. TYK have been around for a while. We are moving in, and we still have 20 squads, but there's a fair few duos and solos out here.
Yes, there are. I mean, this is going to be a game of resets here, potentially. I mean, we can see on the map, Raw 2 will get down to Old Town, so that is going to be a reset surely for Source. There's no one really around to deny that. So they will be back in the game, but they got to be careful. You can see 5 or 6 teams in Energy Bank. That is, like we said, where the action is going to be for most of this match. We can see plenty of teams starting to rotate in. Remarkable Team gonna have a bit of high ground to work with as well, and potentially gatekeep some of these teams on the north side.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We do have Remarkable Team now rotating in on QOR Gaming. And if you're QOR, you really don't want to be going out first here in the first game of E-District. But they will set it up with that Newcastle. And I don't mind the Newcastle and Rampart picks, to be honest.
Yeah, it's kind of a substitute for the Corsic and the Watson, I suppose, to a degree. Newcastle is so good on this map, though. I mean, we've seen it so many times in the lobbies, in the matches leading up to game day, where the Newcastle really can save the game at times. If you don't get a building, but you get a little sort of alcove to hide in, getting that wall up can be the difference between life and death. So,
yes,
very, very nice for them. But VKG are getting into a bit of an engagement. And we do see it is going to be VK Gaming taking down Keep Going.
Yes, they do. KPG getting eliminated. Well done there by Casa and LQ Dud. They did really well just then. They held off KPG and Keep Going are going to be the first team eliminated, and they only have 5 points so far after 3 games. 4 games actually today. So, you know, the bottom end is very, very lacking, I guess. NML eliminated as well by Rui. The points are very low. So hopefully some of those teams can pick it up in these next couple of games here on E-District.
For sure, we are going to see Remarkable Team making their merry way into the zone here at the moment. They're kind of chilling on the outskirts of Energy Bank. Not too many teams around them. They are going to be okay for now. Like I said, they were holding this high ground, and it's done them a lot of favors here.
That it has. 18 squads still alive. We'll go and have a look at the map in 40 seconds time once this does close. But we're not too far away from some more action. I think you can see a lot of 30-30s being used in the lobby, and it's Buffer Fifth who is trying to rotate in as well, as they're going to try and find their way into Energy Bank. And it wouldn't be a first game on E-District if it wasn't an Energy Bank zone.
Yes, that is very, very true. It is pretty stock standard, it rotates here, but I suppose that is, you know, pretty good for the competitiveness of this lobby, right? A lot of teams are going to be experienced here, as it looks like. Remarkable Team got a bit of a kidnap attempt, but not going to come through with anything just there. As for Wolves Esports, they are on the hunt. I believe they do already have a couple of kills to their name, so looks like they are getting into the action yet again here, Stoney.
Yeah, it's Donut. Donut is playing aggressive. He has that PK, has the blue PK bolt on it as well, and QOR, they're just kind of stuck. They did do the Wraith portal out of that situation next to Remarkable Team, but now have put themselves right on the front door of Wolves Esports. So very tough for them. Beautiful shots there with the charge rifle from No Name, and I guess that's why he is the leader here on the damage.
Yeah, and put him on the Wraith. Nice and aggressive flank style player. So yeah, as you say, getting that entry damage, gonna be racking up the numbers. VKG still in as a trio, rotating through, looking just to get a little bit of information with their crypto drone as well. But Physics Gaming are getting into a bit of a scrap. Yeah, need to be careful here. Just witness me. That Sparrow ult, man, is so annoying, and MDYB do that so well. They do get the entry damage and the entry down. So if they can rotate in now, try and clean it up. They don't want to leave it too late, otherwise Physics Gaming might be able to get a reset here. Yeah, this is looking very, very intense. Nate.
Oh no.
It's like Rude Nate is gonna get set available. They stay alive as a duo for now. We'll see whether or not Physics remain in the lobby for long.
Yeah, MDYB do get a chance. They don't rotate down though, but it's the help from every other team on the outskirts that has helped them here. So MDYB just gonna have to try and play their time a little bit slower here, and it does look like Physics maybe safe for now.
Yeah, for now, definitely is going to be that little asterisk on this team's current status. But hey, each ring that they can survive from is going to get themselves potentially a placement point or two if they can get into that top 15. But we are going to see Physics continuing to be under pressure here. Witness me going in. Lux goes down, and yeah, they were not going to be safe for long. MDYB run out of patience and take him out.
Yeah, Silly Billy's looking to get in on the action as well, though. They do get that Wraith portal, and it looks like they're just going to try and steal some loot here. So not bad by them, and all of a sudden we have a lot of fights starting to pop off a little bit in this energy bank zone. And we'll go and have a look as the teams are rotating in, and look at Source. They do get a reset on that south side.
Yeah, so they've been doing pretty handily so far ever since, you know, going down to that solo. They have managed to avoid the rest of the lobby and get through on that dead side rotate. So that is very handy for them. Remarkable team, though. Team that is kind of in the thick of all the action at the moment. They've kind of been gate kept out of Energy Bank for the last couple of zones and just have to sit up top on this tower that they have been occupying for a couple of zones. They're going to still be okay for now, but when they have to rotate, that is when we are going to see this team potentially start to struggle.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. VK Gaming, they've really turned their day around since game one, haven't they? So, I mean, you can never go off the first game. I understand it, but it just didn't look very good. And now, all of a sudden, they're up and about a bit. So, remarkable team. Looks like they're holding out TYK and YRV. If he can get some entry damage, we might see a Ash portal to the top.
Yeah, that could be very, very entertaining. Okay, obviously are a team that are capable of winning those very fights and getting themselves into those positions. We'll see whether or not they are able to fight their way into this ring, because they are just on the outskirts of it for now, and there really isn't too many safe spots around their position. They're gonna have to get pretty deep into this zone. They got to time their rotate very carefully.
Yeah, and if you thought Source were having you know, any luck rotating in, they found Genji. So they do lose one. Beautiful shots there by Bakri Boo, though. It's all up to Stepsis and Bakri in this fight between Genji, and I don't really like their chances, but we'll wait and see.
I mean, the Sheila can do so much damage if they get that out at the right time, but yeah, Bakri Boo gonna have to try and stay alive with Silly Stepsis. Third parties we're hearing as well, getting some shots in. Genji looks like they will just take that initial kill point and potentially get out of there, as we can see Source Gaming under so much pressure still, as it's all down to Silly Stepsis as a solo. I'm not liking their chances.
Nah, this isn't looking good. Genji are just kind of holding angles now. They've rotated back to the spot that they could be, and Source, yeah, not looking good for Stepsis. The best thing for him that is going now, though, is that he might be able to get away because he is a crypto. But we'll change from that, and it's VK Gaming, who we're talking about now, in some trouble up against Wolves Esports.
Yeah, BJJ down to a solo trying to escape. We'll see whether or not the Bangalore can get out. For now, it looks like they are going to hide, but Wolves Esports, they are continuing to show why they were one of the favorites coming into this lobby. Charge rifle from No Name doing so much damage. He's already on 1500 damage, 30.
He's a freak. He is so good at the game, it's not even funny. He's just watching teams rotate in E-Bank at the moment, and he's having too much fun while doing it. The VK Gaming do get eliminated, so VK gone.
QOR rotated in and took out VK. Source Gaming as well in that position they were in, end up falling. So, quite no surprise there, but 5 Fears in a very handy spot with a 1 clip coming out. Beautiful shots from the R9, but 5 Fears, it may not be enough.
Well, they get it done. They do get shot from afar, and they get rid of Genji, the lobby leaders. So this is good for Wolves. Genji getting eliminated at 15th position, and it does look like BCG maybe going to use that Wraith portal to get in on the action, but it's not going to happen. So this zone does pull to that backside here in E-Bank. You can see it right now, exactly where it's pulling, and we still have a lot of teams on that south and east side of this zone.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is looking very, very shambles for a lot of these teams. We'll see whether or not they can get the job done. BCG, though, they're going to be chilling for the next zone or two, as we did identify earlier. So, yeah, they're looking at a very, very nice spot with 14 squads alive, Stoney. I mean, there's a couple of buildings that maybe some teams can share, but I don't see them playing nice for too long.
Nah, and look at Remarkable team. That's the team that was playing that north side of that the fast zone. now trying to rotate in, but are in some serious trouble because TYK are farming them.
Yeah, they are, and Xiaolin to stay alive behind the ramp. TYK, though, are getting chipped out quite a little bit, so they are going to have to go for a bit of a reset on health, which will help out Remarkable Team, but I don't know how long they can stay up here. I mean, they've been identified as a duo now. They're going to have to be careful, but speaking of duos, JD Gaming do have a bit of action here, going for a reset in the middle of Energy Bank, attempting to stay alive. But this is a messy, messy fight that can easily be third party.
It is, and here comes Team Mango for that third party you were talking about, and it's Remarkable Team, oh sorry, JD Gaming that were in the mix of it, and now all of a sudden do get a way to reset, and they use that cap wall in their advantage. So we're now down to our final 13 squads, and it is all starting to pop off a little bit as we go, and I don't know exactly where to go. There's too many fights happening and 13 squads left standing, and TYK, they're the team that we're going to stick with.
Yep, I mean, they are still in a little bit of an engagement at the moment. We can see TYK trying their best to control their side of the ring, but it's not going to be easy as they will have to make this rotate eventually. But they push in on this duo. Remarkable Team are still here, by the way, holding their ground, have done well, but the Stinger Bolt here is going to force them to try and make a move. Flank coming around, it's YRV getting a nice little one clip. Gonna be the end of Remarkable Team. We have a new kill leader with 5, and TYK, they finally get the job done.
That they do, and it's now JDG that we're watching, who are right next to Wolves Esports. So Wolves Esports really looking good at the moment here, with 7 squads left standing. We're going to have a look at that zone. Look at QOR and the boys. They have a team right underneath them, and it looks like it's MDYB, who have been here since, I think, round 1 nearly.
Yeah, but it's just the Energy Bank zone. You just get in and you stay in. That's kind of the idea, but they get a set here at the moment. We can see there's a few teams around, but everyone's kind of trying to dig out their own little areas. You can see the teams outside the ring not wanting to rotate in first. You kind of, it's an interesting zone, right, Stoney? Because you don't want to be the first one in, because you're going to get looked at by everyone with no cover. But you don't want to be too late either. So the timing of this, especially I'm looking at Wolves, who are probably going to want to try to force a fight against one of these teams on the ring. They are looking at TYK at the moment. They're definitely going to want to force TYK to rotate in first, and then kind of use them as cover.
Yeah, a couple of members on that team with the 30-30s as well, so we need to be careful here. Paddy Fan trying to get some shots to hit, and TYK now, though, they do need to start to worry about rotating in themselves.
Yeah, they luckily have a little bit more cover than Wolves, who have go back into the middle of Energy Bank, and they are going to be coming up behind 3 different teams here. So much action to cover. MDYB still in a very nice position. TYK, though, looks like they finally have to fight for space.
Yeah, and DCG, they're going to get eliminated as TYK hold them out, and now all of a sudden, Paddy Fans changed his direction over to Wolves, and Wolves now down to a solo as MDYB and the Silly Billies are starting to get these kills.
Yep, Wolves, as you say, solo at the moment. MDY Black will have a knocked player, so that is going to help out Silly Billies, who are trying to clean up. JD Gaming as well, getting a reset. So many teams are in this small area, but they're all going for resets at the moment. As you can see, MDYB back up to a full trio, fighting for the building that they've held for so long. Can they survive?
I don't know, but they are doing so well. They will get rid of JD Gaming. That's 1 team gone. They have 4 more to worry about. And I'll tell you who I like and where they're sitting at the moment. TYK. Now, if this zone does pull towards them a little bit more, it is obviously pulling a little bit central, this zone. But I do like where they are, and having their kill leader on their team at the moment as YRV. They're in a good, real good position right now to take this game number 4.
I mean, the other team that's in a power spot, Las Vegas Inferno. Look at this. They have such an open area. They're very spread out. They can gatekeep all these teams and force them to fight. So that is kind of the two power teams at the moment. Wolves as a a duo, sorry. They are running. They are literally on top of each other. It looked like it was one player. But they are going to be a duo at the moment. Everyone else up is a full trio. TYK, as you said, in a nice spot. But they have a little bit of way to go. And Las Vegas Inferno are kind of in the god spot.
They are, but it is all starting to pop off as TYK have to try and hold off the push in from MDY Black here. And it's the Catalyst Wall to come out from MDYB, but it's not going to be enough. So now we go back to Vegas Inferno, who moved there. All their purposes now up against the boys of TYK. But look at the shots from Noel saying, as Silly Billies are in some serious trouble being Silly Billies.
They're fish in a barrel right now. It's being shot at. The Vegas Inferno will be third-partied here. They got to be careful. I'm not too sure what this is against, but they are very, very low at the moment. As Vegas Inferno, their position has fallen apart. Silly Billies are getting up there. TYK as a trio have come in. They've cleaned up. MDY Black go down. Vegas Inferno fall. And TYK, out of nowhere, are now in the position to take this game.
Yeah, they look so good. Maytong with this PK is just having the time of his life. And the best thing that TYK did was hold off the push from the left side. And now they're going to get a beautiful win here in game number 4. And oh my God, we're going to have a different winner again.
I mean, that is massive, by the way, Stoney. 17 kills. 17 kill win.
Yeah,
almost a 30-point game. That is going to flip the leaderboard on its head.
Yeah, that is massive. 17 kills and most... Oh, that's the wrong one, is it?
It is TYK who did take the victory. Vegas Inferno, they did go down in 4th place there despite having that god spot. So yeah, that is 17 kills going the way of TYK. And I mean, that was why we were talking up this team, right? They are such a dangerous side on their day. We can see it now. Plenty of damage coming through for this team as well. 8 kills for YRV. The Ash just doing Ash things, Stoney. Yeah, what a game.
Man, they did really well. YRV, 8 kills, 2.5k damage. They held the spot perfectly. Like I said, they looked really comfortable as well on that other side of the zone. And it kind of felt like Vegas Inferno were kind of holding a little bit too much of area split on that last bit. Yep. So we'll have a look as we go and have a look at the match summary in right now. And it is TYK with a 29 points a game. Silly Billies coming second. Wolves Esports third. Vegas Inferno fourth. And MDY Black coming in the top 5 there. We'll have a look at the series overall, and it is TYK hitting the front after that game. They are in the lead by 1 point. We have Wolves Esports sitting second, Genji third, MDYB fourth, and Remarkable Team rounding out the top 5. We'll go and have a look at our character pick rates, and it does look like we will have an Ash ban here for game number 4. We only have one more ban left, and I reckon we might see probably a Sparrow or a Wraith ban, but we'll wait and see as the games go on.
I mean, Sparrow surviving again by 1 pick, so that is nice to see. And we are going to have the rest of the teams loading in to our next map. But Stoney, I'll tell you what, we have had a different winner each time, and I mean, provided it's not another energy bank zone, we could potentially see another one. I mean, this is going to be such a tight lobby. It has been so competitive all day, though. I mean, even in that game just there, right, we thought that Vegas Inferno would have been a shoo-in to win that game, and they just, unfortunately, as you said, held too much space, and they got punished by a quality TYK team.
They did, and they did well. I mean, TYK, they were brewing, and they've been brewing all week. They've been very close to just flipping this game upside down. They're such a impressive team lately. Very aggressive, adding YRV in. So we'll go and have a look at our kill getters, and it is Asia still on top with 13. Paddy Fan moving in with 11. YRV with 11 as well. We have No Name with 10 and Rowie with 10 as well. And our damage leaders and No Name still up top there thanks to that charge rifle. He has 8.2k damage.
Yep.
Donut with 5.3. Asia with 4.8. Basti with the 4.4. And Yuling with the 4.4 as well. But we'll go have a look at our map overlay. And what do you see here?
Well, first game in a district, big frags, TYK, 17 of them and almost 6k damage. That is a phenomenal game. So I don't know, the pattern, listen, the pattern we've seen is a pretty controlled game. I mean, MDY first game 9 kills, then 10, then 6, now 17. Maybe we see another controlled game in this next one. The pattern has been a bit funny to work out, but E-District is proving to be the stomping grounds for TYK.
It is, and they're doing well as well, so we'll wait to see. We do have 2 more games to go, chat. We do appreciate you guys all being here. I think we've covered nearly everything we can before getting into game number 5. We'll see you all just around the corner for our second last game of the day. This has been a lot of fun. I'm your host, Stony AU, with the legend caster K-Man, and we'll be right back with game number 5 just around the corner.
Competition. Greatness. For some, it is the reason we forge rivalries. Drive to be the best.
Others, mate, we're just here to have a bloody good time. Oh, yeah.
It's not your mind playing tricks on you. It's just me. Maggie's back and ready to rip some heads off.
Hi, friends. Hi, friends. Hey, that's me.
Alrighty, game number 5. Game number 5, just around the corner. It looks like they are all picking their legends, and I seen a lot of sparrows just then. I don't know about you, K-Man, but I saw a shitload of sparrows.
I mean, Sparrow is just so good, right? We spoke about the utility. I mean, in game 3 of Storm Point, it pretty much won the game with that Stinger Bolt as well. It's so good. And I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that all the other legends that come before the ban of the Sparrow, you know, obviously all the power of those Caustics and Watsons, you would probably see it get banned very early if those other legends weren't as powerful as they are at the moment. So it's no surprise to see them absolutely lapping up this Sparrow pick here in game number 5. As we are going to see the map coming out here, it's going to be interesting to see whether Keep Going Gaming go for another aggressive push into Stadium, and it looks like they might.
It'll be interesting to see if this zone pulls south bloody west or goes north, but we are going to go north, and it will be a DCG zone, so that's pretty cool. I'm excited for this, and it looks like we are going to get a KPG and Source Gaming fight once again.
They're going for round 2 here, but Source Gaming this time should be aware of it. It looks like you see their positioning. They certainly are a little bit more aware. We can see a Sentinel charged up already. This is a big weapon to have in the early game, especially against that grey armor. We'll see whether or not Keep Going can get a clean fight like they did in the game before.
Yeah, they're aggressive, right? So, and they have a lot of confidence now that Tree Cleaner knows that he basically can 1v2. So, Keep Going. Need to be careful though, because once Source get comfortable and relaxed in these lobbies, they're definitely a team that you don't want to be reckoned with.
100%. We are going to see Source though. I mean, like I said, they're ready for this now, and the beams are coming out. Some excellent shots with that Hemlock, swapping over to the PK. Not going to be able to use it just yet, but great damage being dealt back and forth. Keep Going, getting a bit of a reset at the moment, but Source Gaming, they are closing the walls in on their opponents, slowly positioning, getting themselves into a nice little spot at the moment. As we can see, Keep Going possibly in the middle of Stadium, looking to rat their way around and go for another surprise play.
Yep, that they do. 20 squads still standing, and if this fight goes on any longer, I might get more grey hairs, or there will be a third party, and I think there's more possibility that there's going to be a third party in that comment. So, Source Gaming now. Beautiful shots. Down goes Tree Cleaner. So this might be exactly what they needed, but as I say that, they do lose Stepsis.
Yeah, they do. Just playing a little bit ahead there of the rest of the team. It's a 2v2 at the moment. Source Gaming haven't got the finish on that knock, but I don't think that res is going to come through anytime soon. We can see Tree Cleaner crawling away underneath, but the rest of the team is going to need to win this engagement, as Source Gaming, with the Sentinel on hand for Bakary Boo, could be a game changer.
It could, but I feel like I need to go to another fight. I just feel so bad if I move and they clean it up. And Source Gaming, it's going to be very tough for him now, because they've let Tree Cleaner rotate out and they're going to get a revive. But I'm going to go to this fight here as a remarkable team are down to a solo, and it's a solo v a solo. It's a PK versus an RE45 and the PK from Silly Billies. And I tell you what, Silly Billies have kind of just relaxed into this situation lately. They're starting to get some confidence.
Yeah, it's good to see them getting some kills on the board, getting threes. Like I said, that situation over at Stadium continues to develop. It looks like Source Gaming have rotated away. JDG, though, are creeping around here, and Keep Going Gaming gonna have to be careful as to whether or not they themselves get fourth partied here, because there are plenty of teams rotating around on this eastern side. But we are gonna see now JD Gaming. Looks like they have figured out that that fight died down, and they are just gonna rotate away.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. Like, it's crazy that that fight went on for so long. So they're gonna have to be careful, and they did Source with the nice rotate out, and they got away just in time. But it looks like Gen G, we're moving in on VKG, but now VKG are now moving towards Source Gaming.
Yeah, but like, look at the map and look at where Caster's gone down there. They're so far away from the rest of the team. I'm not too sure what happened on that rotate, but they get identified as a solo and cleaned up by Gen G. So, I mean, that's handy for them. Very, very curious on how that rotate occurred. But now it's a 2v2. Source Gaming, I suppose they are given a helping hand by Gen G and evening out the numbers for this fight.
I don't like their chances, though. They know that VK are here now, and VK are overlooking Source. So, just when they thought they had a chance to reset, kind of all their hopes have been taken away, and it's LQ Dud with their new member BJJ.
Yeah, but I mean, this is a little bit of a game of chess here, right? Because VKG probably aren't going to have the information as a duo just yet either. So whoever gets that information first is probably going to feel themselves with a little bit more confidence. But VKG looks like they are going for a bit of a reset. Raw2, though, is monitoring it. Not going to quite land the shield crack there just yet. So BJJ does get the banner. But we'll see whether or not they can get out.
Yeah, we'll get out of that because that is going to take forever, those two teams, and it doesn't look like they're very keen on getting in on the action as of yet. I think the hardest bit for Source there is not having their crypto, right? So losing their crypto, not being able to get a fast reset. It's kind of tough to get that craft and the reset off. So we are going to go and have a look at this map though, as we're very close to getting into a round 2. Oh yeah, there's teams everywhere. There's
a party up here.
We'll go and have a look at BCG as they're going in on TYK.
Yep, definitely. TYK proving to be a very, very dominant in the previous match, but a new game here, a new challenge presented, and BCG are moving in. We can see TYK, they're at least holding their ground, getting a little bit of a reset. We can see the Wraith maybe going for a kidnap play as well, as BCG are rotating around, but instead TYK take the high ground, and they will give themselves a bit of a positional advantage here in this fight as BCG are formed into the back room.
That they have. And look at this nade coming in from Paddy Fan. He needs to be careful. Does nearly get the down. Down goes 2. This is an easy cleanup, you'd think, as BCG should be put down as 1 member left. And BCG, they're going to be our second team eliminated here in game number 5.
That Peacekeeper almost did the job there. 200 shots back to back. But yeah, TYK a very, very clean up for them. 18 squads remaining. We have had remarkable team in BCG fall. Couple of other teams in a bit of shambles on the map, but we are going to move over and shift our focus to Silly Billies.
We will. Silly Billies setting up in Lotus, like I said. I think the best thing about this is kind of like a stack zone, right? In World's Edge, you're going to have a lot of teams, even in that Sky West, Sky East kind of zones. So Silly Billies looking to try and hold their position, and having that rampart, so the rampart and the Newcastle is working out in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, very handy to have such a wide range of defensive characters in Apex Legends. Obviously, a lot of versatility. We've already talked about, you know, how that meta has developed, but Newcastle has kind of been one of those characters that it's kind of slipped under the ban radar and has been used very, very effectively by a lot of these top teams. So it's interesting to see here a Source Gaming. They have got the reset, but they are very far from being safe.
Yeah, but Bakary Blue does get the down on LQ Dud, so that gives them a little bit of entry damage now to move in on this fight. And Source Gaming do get the reset, which is huge. So let's see if they can move in on the action and maybe get rid of the EWC champs. And what is such a surreal moment for them as well. Their first time in Pro League, split 2, and they're going up against the big dogs.
Well, I mean, as we say that, Keep Going have shown up as well, so they are not leaving Source Gaming alone at the moment. As we do see them start to rotate in, this team looking like they do want to get into that fight yet again, but as I say that, Source are going to rotate away as Keep Going Gaming as well are going to get through. So these 3 teams looking like they are going to prioritize the rotate over the fight.
Yep, that they will. So 18 squads still standing. And it looks like Bad Aim Team are just farming their Evos at the moment. They just keep going down. Where are they? Bad Aim Team.
Yep.
Yeah, so they just keep going down. They're going to try and get their purples. And it's not a bad idea, refresh. Oh, I mean, I love it. It's in the game, may as well exploit it.
I mean, Null's not going to be complaining, right? Maybe go for a bit of a damage leader type of situation now. Sitting at the moment, he's sitting at 288. He could get to around 400 by the time he's done here. I mean, that would be handy for his own stats. But yeah, Bad Aim Team looking like, yeah, this is a very interesting tactic. But as you say, it's in the game, so it's going to happen.
Exactly. Let him do it.
Hey mates,
let's go and have a look. It's Gen G now. All of a sudden they're looking at Source. So Source just not having the best time whatsoever. Stepsis and Bakary now both down.
Yeah, they've had a couple of rough games so far in E-District, and it looks like their troubles will continue, as you say. The Wraith now left as a solo, trying to just survive at the moment. Looks like Gen G, though, will have to rotate out, so at least they will survive. I don't know for how long, but I suppose even if they can manage to somehow get into top 15 and get a point out of this situation, they'll be happy.
Yeah, that they should. I mean, they're just not having the best day, the lads, but that's okay. But here we go, Phys6 Gaming. They're getting into it with KPG, and I mean, this team has just been kind of pulling the P at the moment. They're rotating around that edge of basically that south side, and now all of a sudden they're getting into it with Phys6, and it should be an easy cleanup.
He's knocked him out. Witness me throwing hands, getting a knock somehow with the melee, but I don't know how long that is going to last for. Witness me down to just a bullet of health, and yeah, keep going. We'll clean that up, but they could get third party here, and it looks like they might by JD Gaming.
It is. Yep.
I don't know who it is.
Yeah, JD Gaming. Yeah. JD Gaming looking good. We're going to have a look at this map as we can see our final stages of round 3. We've got about 30 seconds before it starts to close, and it's VKG as well, looking to get in on the action on KPG.
Yeah, that's why I was confused who actually got that knock, but yeah, it is JDG who maybe an attempted kidnap play there with the Wraith as well, but VK have rotated out, so they are going to get a pretty open rotate into into the Lotus here, to be fair, on this southeast side, so they're looking very good at the moment.
But they will be able to rotate in, but they most likely will be getting held out also. So, and it does look like JD Gaming are still very close by. 17 squads still standing though, with round 3 only 30 seconds away from closing. We have a lot of action.
Source Gaming did get a full reset as well, so they're going to be rotating straight in towards Gen G and 5 Fears. That is a very, very interesting situation. I don't know where they've managed to get this. I think it must have been at City Hall, because that is the closest replicator. So they are going to go for a bit of a sneak play here. 5 Fears. Yeah. They are going to get pinched as soon as this fight kicks off.
And they need to be careful, because Source are right behind them, and I'll just shoot my gun if I was you, Raw 2.
Oh, he's going to miss the first shot, though, and he gets punished. That's unfortunate. Down to a duo, though. Source Gaming can still spring a surprise, but no. It looks like they are just continuing to have a rough game, as you say, but 5 Fears can't finish them off just yet, because they're getting third-partied here, and Gen G, they are springing into action.
Yeah, they put themselves in such a good position, Source, to just shoot them in the back and get it done straight away. They waited way too long. And then all of a sudden, 5 Fears changed all their momentum and swing over to Source. But then Gen G obviously getting involved as well. And it looks like we have another third party with JD Gaming. If I have to say another JDG or Gen G or something name, I might freak out.
Well, 5 Fears and Source are going to get pinched and go out of that fight. So JD Gaming are going to go for a bit of a reset. But Gen G, they're so healthy. They took almost no damage in that fight. So they are able to push up here and go aggressive. It's exactly what they want to do. Plenty of beams are coming out. So much damage. JD Gaming attempting to get their shield bats off, but they're getting cooked.
Yeah, the crypto is just giving them so much intel. Asia's literally just swinging in the corner, knowing that both of them were standing there, and JD Gaming are going to get eliminated. Gen G are cooking, but yes, TYK eliminated as well, who had a huge game 4, and we are now down to our final 12 squads. And let's have a look at this zone. As you can see, Gen G on that far southwest side need to get a rotate on.
They're on 9 kills right now as well, Gen G, just quietly. They are cooking, knocking on the door of that double digits. Definitely going to be a matter of time before they find another victim. But Vegas Inferno as well, who have been rotating in. It looks like they are contesting a couple of buildings here around with Wolves. Also doing the same. Plenty of teams are fighting for this space. MD White Black looking like they've carved out a little piece of the zone for themselves. But with this ring closing, they're not going to have much room to play with.
No, they're not. But it does look like they're wanting to get aggressive with the team that's trying to play this low ground. And it's Vegas Inferno that might be in trouble. They're in some serious trouble. Beautiful shots here by Yu Ling with that G7 and the PK. And he gets rid of Mosu and Sato.
Excellent shots to come through, as you say. MDYB going aggressive, but they're gonna have to be careful with the amount of teams around them. Vegas Inferno's solo trying to rotate out, but NML actually end up cleaning that fight up, so they're also gonna share a kill point, as there is a lot of action going on at the moment, Stoney. This is going to be a very difficult zone. As you can see, there's only 2 teams in the ring.
Yes, it's going to be nuts. You can see Rendang trying to move in and stay alive as well. They use that crypto ult to try and hold off Gen G, but it's not going to be enough. But Ziki does go down here, so they're going to have to try and get that reset, and it does look like Dexter will. They'll leave Asia here. That Psycho to move in on the action, and he does have the charge rifle P2020s in hand.
Oh, very nearly got the entry there, but now he's going to have to play a little bit slower. Gen G going to be rotating around NML. Have been in and around the action, getting a couple third parties, so they are going to keep on going on their rotate. But this ring about to close in, Stoney. There is just no room for these teams on top of each other.
No, and look at Gen G, man. They're going to stay aggressive, and it's Asia. He is farming right now. Waifu down, Halim down, Rendang. He loves some Rendang, and he's going to clean it up with the slice straight down the guts, and Rendang is going to get eliminated. So we are now down to 10 squads, and look at Deep Cross Gaming trying to stay alive.
Yep, and Asia's just gonna dump a Rolling Thunder in for good measure as well for any teams around, so they should be able to have a fairly safe rotate, I want to say. But DCG, as you say, another team who are up as a full trio, plenty of utility to work with at the moment. As we can see, this zone is getting smaller and smaller. NML, another team that is trying their best to hold on. They do have the zone, but they have so much pressure outside.
Man, there's so much action. I don't know where to go to, and it's Deep Cross Gaming that are getting in some trouble here with Wolves, who are on the super height at the moment. I mean, you can't get any higher than he is. I have Donuts nearly touching the bloody roof of this map. So Wolf Esports just trying to hit some shots here, as he does have a pretty good angle, and VK Gaming getting eliminated at 8th position.
Yep, so we do have at least a little bit more space for the other teams to work with here, as Gen G with the drone, by the way, are getting a reset on Asia. That is incredible, as we're going to see the crypto getting value in zone number 6. Ridiculous things are going down here, but it does mean that Gen G will be back to a full trio. We'll see if they can survive for long, as they are getting focused.
They probably should have just waited until Asia dropped at least, but Wolves Esports on the height, that's the team that they need to be worried about. And NML as well, swinging the corner, and we might see Gen G go out at 7th position.
Yeah, he's just trying to rat his way in. He's found the tiniest little bit of safety, if you can even call it. He is hunted down and executed. That is going to be the end of Gen G. 6 squads remain.
QOR, by the way, in a very, very good spot as we move into this game. And look at Bad Aim Team. Mr. Sheila in the hand, and now Shayo adds the Newcastle in some trouble, and it's NML, another one of the PLQ teams, starting to make some noise here as these games are going on.
Yeah, I mean, they are in one of the power positions up on this sort of mid-ground, I want to call it, because Wolves at the moment are on some of the highest ground you'll see, but we are going to see Wolves starting to drop off there. No Name is going across. I think that's the Wraith, possibly going for a bit of a rotation here at the moment, as we can see plenty of action starting to kick off. We've got Team Mango held inside, can't go out with that Stinger Bolt. NML continuing to hold their little area of the map, but Wolves have eventually come down off that high ground and getting in the thick of it.
Yeah, in the thick of it, that they are. Bit of KSI, I don't mind that. Team Mango right next to, well, NML and QOR. And QOR now down to a solo, and that's all thanks to the team of Wolves Esports, who have put the pressure on, rotating around that far western side, and now taking control of this zone.
Yeah, so Wolves maybe a little bit early on that tape, and oh my goodness, the charge rifle doesn't miss from there. Stinger Bolt going out, NML going down. It's all down to this final fight, and I believe Mango just down to a solo. Wolves should clean this up once they find the final player. They will. They're all on it. PK's in hand. One knock comes through. That's going to be it. Wolves will be our champions yet again.
Game number 5, Wolves Esports, proving why they're a top 10 team in the world. And they get their 2nd win of the day. And they are looking good going into this final game, K-Man.
Wow. these guys are scary. I mean, I would love to see what even their average placement was heading into that game, because they just consistently have been in those final fights, Tony. We saw them go down a couple of times, but they've always been in the mix, getting picks and consistently getting points. They are definitely going to be up the top of the leaderboard, you would assume, as we do see the summary there for Wolves. Plenty of damage to go around, about 4k roughly for the team, looking very nice.
Man, 10 kills. Look at No Name. I think he's hit 10k damage now after 5 games. So he is farming so far. So No Name with a huge day so far. We will go and have a look at the match summary. And Wolves Esports with a 22-point game. Team Mango with a 12-point game. NML with an 18-point game. QOR with a 7. And Silly Billies with a 7. Good thing to look at there, though, K-Man. NML, QOR, Silly Billies, and Bad 18. 4 teams in the top 6 just then, all from PLQ in their first week of Split 2 Pro League. Very impressive by those teams. We'll go and have a look at the series overall, and it is Wolves Esports in front. Gen G sitting second, TYK third, MDYB fourth, and Remarkable Team rounding out the top 5. So going into our last game, Wolves Esports looking to be in control. And we'll have a look at what legend is going to be banned for our final game.
Indeed, we are going to find that one out right now. As we can see, it is going to be the Wraith. So again, Sparrow survives. So Sparrow has survived all 6 games. So we're going to see plenty of them coming out in the final one, you would assume. The Rampart as well, getting a good amount of picks there. So yeah, there has been a lot of developing tactics, and we've seen it kind of throughout the scrims and the practice matches, right, Stoney, where teams are trial and erroring a little bit. We saw you know, a few different variations. The Catalyst has been coming out a bit too, but not as prevalent as this Sparrow has been. But yeah, that Wraith, I mean, plenty of picks to come through on that, and no surprise to see it being banned away.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen anything different all week. So the legend bans have been the same all week. Yeah. Caustic, Watson, Alter, Ash, and Wraith. So maybe once the World's Edge games start coming to play, we might see a different legend used for that, you know, like the Bangalore or the Newcastle. But we go into this last game, and we're going to have a lot of Bangs, a lot of Newcastles, and a lot of Sparrows still in this lobby.
For sure. I mean, the Crypto as well is going to get picked, I would say, pretty decently as well. It's a very, very useful legend to have on board with that drone, getting the info and the resets. So very interesting to see how these games develop. But Stoney, I'll tell you what, Wolves Esports, I mean, if you're just looking at their average match history, they're pretty much primed to take this this set of lobbies, provided that nothing disastrous happens to them in the early game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And as we say that, we'll go and have a look at the individual awards so far today. And it is Gen G Asia still on top. 21 kills, man, in 5 games. I struggle to get that in 10 games in ranked flats. So he's doing it out here pretty easily at the moment. We have No Name sitting second, Donut third, YRV fourth, and Paddy Fan in the top 5. And we'll go see if No Name has hit that 10k damage. And he has. So 10,000 damage so far in the first 5 games.
Ridiculous. I mean, we were watching plenty of it as well, as we are going to see all the rest of the damage be left in the dust. I mean, Donut's second place, 6.6k, almost 4k below. That is an insane stat. And both those players are on the one team in Wolves. So that just shows how good they've been. Asia in third, Youngling fourth, and GoGap has made their way into the top 5 there. So a couple of nice games to come through from GoGap. But Stoney, we've got one more game to cast, and it will be an absolute banger, no doubt.
Yeah, it will. And I mean, you know what the crazy thing is Wolves have not won a game until that last one. So,
yep.
I mean, they were very close in the first game up against MDYB. They kind of traded, and it was kind of I don't know how they worked that out when you trade, but
ping diff, I don't know.
Yeah, it must be. But MDYB getting that win. So you know, we've had a very even spread of winners today, and I'm looking forward to see what this last game entails, and I'm hoping that we have maybe a PLQ winner this game.
Would be very, very good to see. I mean, these teams definitely, I think we can say, Stone, like you said, they've gotten a few of these PLQ teams have gotten some very, very good placements in these lobbies and really made it to the end game. So they are proving they deserve to be here, and they're proving they earned their spot in this pro league. But I mean, these the front running teams that are the top rated players, we've got, you know, some of the best teams in the world here in this lobby, and they are proving why. I mean, Wolves absolutely are the standout at the moment. Gen G have been so dangerous with Asia just continuing to drop frags in every game. And I mean, even these other teams, I mean, TYK had a big game as well and shot up the leaderboard, so they're certainly going to be a shout for taking today. But the story has to just be how consistent Wolves have been. Yeah,
it will be interesting. I'm looking forward to see who will win it as we are about to get into our final game. We'll go and have a look at the E-District drop spots again, just so everyone can see where everyone is landing.
Yep, so
there you have it. So you can talk about that.
I mean, are we going to see KPG just rush Source Gaming again? Like, is that just going to be the story? Have they just chosen, you know, they misclicked on the drop map and they said, no, we're actually going Stadium? Like, I don't know what the story has been there, but they have been clashing quite a fair bit. We'll see whether or not they go for it again in game number 6, and we'll see who else wants to rotate in. I mean, we can see there, Stoney, it's a bit surprising to see the fact that Wolves are also dropping very close to that, but we haven't actually seen them third party yet.
No, I mean, got to remember though as well, Keep Going didn't do their draft. So,
yeah.
Kind of unlucky for Source, and also Source haven't had the chance at all to play against Keep Going in scrims because they haven't scrimmed. So, for Source, it's very unlucky, but they're going to have to adapt as we get into game number 6, and it's all about to get underway.
Mate, this has been a great game, a great day of Apex here for the region, and we are seeing some of our brightest lights shine. And yeah, KBG, they are going towards Stadium, so we are going to see Source Gaming in another engagement. We'll see whether or not it is a quick one or if it's drawn out, but for the rest of the lobby here, it looks pretty standard.
Yeah, it does look like we are going to have that Source Gaming versus KPG again, and we'll wait to see how this works out for them, and hopefully Source can get it done quicker than they could before, but maybe... the problem is when you've had 5 not as good games, it's hard to have that really good 6.
Yeah, it's just a confidence thing at the end of the game. Soka gonna get a couple nice beams with that Hemlock. The rest of the team is pushing in. Source Gaming immediately are gonna be under the pump, but they have set themselves up inside a Stadium here. So we do see that Rampart trying to find different angles here. Source Gaming looking to get into a few isolated fights here. Rawtu gonna get the crack, but he unfortunately can't get the finish on that kill. Immediately a 2v3. Keep going to trade knocks back and forth, and Source Gaming could have flipped this fight on its head.
Man, Bakri Boo doing Bakri Boo things right now, and it's a 1v2 situation. Can Stepses clutch up, or will Bakri get the 3 kills? And this will maybe give them confidence here to have a really good game number 6.
Yeah, the Mad Maggie being picked as well by Kate. Looks like they'll trade at the very end of it all, but Source Gaming, finally we see them come out on top nice and early. They will be able to take them out, and we have 19 squads remaining, and nobody really close to try and third party them, so they should get a healthy reset.
Yeah, man, they did really well just then. So Bakri obviously picking up that PK. I mean, the fact that the PK is on the ground and can do what it done when it was in the care package is kind of broken. So doing well, getting that as your first gun. I mean, it's either that or the RE, right? You land with those guns, you kind of juiced. So did well with that Source. They will get rid of KPG, and hopefully in the weeks to come, this confidence from Source Gaming will continue to grow.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we are seeing Fizz 6 and BCG got into a bit of a scuffle, but it was kind of Fizz 6 just farming them a bit. We can see them having that Evo health advantage, so they definitely are going to be feeling confident with the extra shields in hand. We can see Fizz 6 still scouting out their opponents, and BCG, they're forced to go for a very far rotate. They don't want to engage early on, and yeah, now that we have seen that stadium fight end fairly quickly, it looks like the rest of the teams are just going to go for a standard rotate.
Yeah, and I mean, how good is that? So, you know, Source Gaming actually get to loot their POY, and now they get a chance to actually rotate through, and if they want to, they can rotate north straight to Heights, and they won't have any problem doing it. So, I mean, this is kind of like the zone where VKG at Champs, they kind of rotated around the north side on the northeast and went through the tunnel around the back to take their spot in the zone, but we'll wait and see. We do have a couple of fights happening though at the moment, as it's DCG going up against NML.
Yeah, NML have lost, all three players have lost their shields as well. We're gonna see the knocks coming through with the nades. Bit of a cleanup here, it looks like, for DCG, as there is just one member. NML going down in a pretty clean sweep from DCG. Very, very nicely played by them. They're going to get their Evo upgrades as well, and that's a good start for this team, as we do see Wolves Esports as well. They're around the action, plenty of explosions going off. MDYB are actually down to a duo as well, very close by, so there is plenty of action happening on this north side.
Yeah, everyone trying to find a spot in zone, and it does look like Wolves Esports, they had one member of MDYB already taken out, and now all of a sudden it looks like they might be looking to try and clean it up. But a lot of teams starting to move in here, Cayman, and it's all starting to unfold.
Yeah, MDYB also do have an elimination. I'm not too sure who that's on, but it looks like they run into the solo of Bad Aim team, and that is Shawan going down. So that is a clean up there. So MDYB, I'm assuming that is where their first kill came from, and they clean up the final member of that team, as we do see QR Gaming on a bit of high ground. JD Gaming, they third party the fight that MDYB clean up, and that is going to be our fourth team eliminated already, Stoney.
Yeah, this is a little bit of scrims about it, the last game, if you know what I mean, So we get some scrims in chat, that's what Wiggs likes to say. But we are 16 squads left standing, and JDG, they did really well to go and clean up MDY Black there and get some KP. And if we talk about MDYB, they really haven't done anything since game one.
Yeah, it just kind of went off the boil. They had they had one other like half decent game, I think, on Storm Point, but then you're right. Yeah, after that, been very hit and miss for them today. E-District not been their map, as we can see a team that certainly has been thriving throughout the entire lobby. Wolves Esports on the absolute opposite end of that spectrum with a very solid game one, and they've continued to roll through the lobby. We can see QR Gaming under a little bit of pressure here. At least the Newcastle is going to give them some sort of protection from the lobby, but they are not in the most comfortable position right now.
Nah, because they got Team Mango underneath them, and they also have Remarkable Team, I think, on the north side of them. So QOR just need to try and hold it down here, and I don't mind their picks. I do like the Newcastle in E-District.
For sure. I mean, we've seen it work plenty of times. Just even today, we've seen it clutch up a few times with that wall, just giving a bit more security to the teams on the map. But we can see the rotates. They are starting to come through. Gen G are going to go for a very long rotate. They'll be fine for quite some time. A little bit of an engagement could happen on this western side between DCG and TYK. As we do see Silly Billies at the moment chilling in the building. But yes, TYK have had one player knocked, and that is going to be the Sparrow knocked, and DCG aggress very quickly.
Yep, LLG, which is who they used to be. They are now DCG. Man, I just rhymed. That was crazy. But they're moving in really aggressive here, and you can see Rowie. They're just trying to find the solo that is left, and it does look like we have lost Rendang as well. So JD Gaming being very aggressive here in game number 6, and I mean, JD Gaming, they have a point to prove as well. That split one wasn't no fluke.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they've been very, very impressive today, I've got to say. It looks like TYK managed to get some sort of a disengagement away from their position as well. But JDG certainly looking to collect on some late points in this set lobby and just improve their placement. Because, I mean, that's the thing, Stoney, right? Even though, you know, you may not be a chance of winning this session or anything like that, there are still those points to be collected at the end of the day.
But it is. It's all about consistency throughout this couple of weeks, isn't it? So we only have one set of games today. It's A versus B, and then next week we will have 2 set of lobbies. So a little bit more action to be had. And down go one from Fizz 6 as VK Gaming try to make their rotate in.
Yep, as it looks like Galeria is going to be under siege here at the moment. Fizz 6 down to a duo. The Sheila has come out, but they're going to have to try and just disengage instead. VKG done very, very nicely here to control the pace of that fight. Get the early knock. They're not going to go over aggressive, do anything too silly either. They're just going to try and get themselves into the zone. But Source Gaming, who are on their north side, could possibly hold them out and make things difficult.
Need to be careful though, because I'm pretty sure... Who is this? It is VK Gaming. They were looking at Bakri Boo, and Bakri does get cracked, but it's good to see Source still out here, and they have some KP as well in the name, which is what they wanted. And that's all our VK Gaming now are going to be aggressive up against JDG. Sorry, VKG.
VKG up against Source here at the moment, it looks like. So Source have traded knocks. VK Gaming down to a duo. And it looks like BJJ is going to get cleaned up here. Despite them seeing the scans of the revive, there's not much they can do about it. Source Gaming will get the reset. The re-knock comes through, so they aren't going to be out of the woods just yet. And VK Gaming also getting themselves a reset. They're going to go and try to be aggressive.
Yeah, they need to be careful here. Stepsis as well. Bakri Boo still alive. They have Raw 2 still down. And it does look like VK Gaming are being aggressive, but it's another team from the outskirts. Oh no, this doesn't look good for Source. This could be their time to be getting eliminated.
Yeah, Bakri Boo still at least on this rampart, can try to stay alive, maybe try to make an escape from all the chaos, but no. Seen immediately as he goes to move. PK can't even get a chance to land, and VKG clean Source Gaming up in that fight there, but we are gonna see 13 squads remaining, Stoney. This is definitely not as stacked as it was at the start of the day.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit upsetting there for Source. I mean, they finished the day with only 7 points, so very tough first set for them. But it's a little bit of a welcome to the league moment, I guess, as well. They've got a lot of time and a lot of lobbies left to get that confidence up and about.
For sure, we can see 5 Fears getting into a bit of a scrap here, and this is against TYK, who have been fighting, it feels like, the whole game. They are going to be getting a little bit of a potential reset, at least, for 5 Fears, but yeah, TYK down to a solo. YRB is going to try and rotate out here, but has to go in towards Galeria. There's not really any safe replicators either, so it's going to be TYK probably just trying to wrap this game out as a solo.
Yeah, what are we up to? 13 squads left and a lot of teams starting to rotate in, and it's VK Gaming that still have BCG to worry about. So VK Gaming, they've really warmed up since game 1 and they're looking really good.
Yeah, they are looking a class act at the moment. We do see them positioned directly on top of BCG, as you were saying. So these two teams going to have to be very patient. At least they will have the ring to play around, so they're going to have time to make their game plans. As we do see on the map, it looks like there is a little bit of a scrap happening out here with DCG.
Yep, DCG versus Vegas Inferno, and it's going to be a duo via duo. So Sato's going to try to get a bat off here. They just need to try and stay alive, and it looks like 5 Fears have rotated in behind the back of Deep Cross Gaming, and now Louisan is the last one standing.
Yeah, but they clean up because Vegas Inferno were down to that solo member, so that is going to be looking good for them. A third party coming in though, and it's 5 Fears looking for the beams, looking to try and finish this up and get themselves some kill points. As we can see, DCG, who by the way have 8 kills, maybe 9 is a reach too far. We can see Gen G as well getting a bit of a cleanup there onto VK Gaming. Plenty of action happening at the moment, Stoney, and whilst I did say maybe some patience could come out from these teams, it looks like they're trying to hurry things up.
Yeah, 10 squads left. VKG did well. They cleaned up BCG, but then the third party, obviously, it's Apex Legends. That's what happens, right? So come in and clean up VKG, and all of a sudden now we're down to 10 squads with round 4, a minute away from closing. And look at this west side of the map, and there's 5 Fears who have moved in on the action.
Yeah, they third-partied onto DCG, but Silly Billies now are a fourth party, and they're starting to claim things up. 5 Fierce are down to a duo now. Peacekeeper shot to the dome is going to find 1, finds 2. Oh my goodness, a great effort with that PK. Not going to be enough for Silly Billies clean up, but they are going to get third-partied as well. It looks like they are not going to get this reset off too easily at the moment. The knocks are coming through, but for now, I believe JDG have rotated out, so they should actually be okay.
Yeah, that's a nice rotate. A nice cleanup, sorry, by Silly Billies, and a very smart rotate by JDG back to zone, because they understand if they can take control of the buildings in that west side of this zone, that they can hold out Silly Billies anyways, right? So very smart by JD Gaming, not throwing their game, and very well done as well by Silly Billies, who are actually starting to cook.
For sure. They are looking very nice. Couple of kills in this game. JD Gaming already, by the way, have 7. So that's probably another factor, right? They don't need to push for the 10 this early on. Just secure the placement points that are going to come through as well. So yeah, as you said, very, very smart play by them. Gen G as well, sitting with 6. They're probably going to be the bit of the opposite, right? This is the team that tends to get the rest of the lobby into action. Wolves are rotating right next to them, though. This could be a huge clash. Our lobby leaders are going to clash. This is first onto second at the moment, as you can see Wolves Esports using that Sparrow Stinger bolt, trying to cause a bit of havoc on the low ground.
Yeah, but the fuse ult coming out from Dexter's put in a lot of damage, and those Sky nades should be able to help out as well. And they do. There's a lot of Kobe nades. He has so many nades. He needs to be careful, though. They've kind of let Wolves get an angle, and this might be all she wrote for Gen G, and Wolves might be able to take the day.
I mean, yeah, that is how you do it, right? You are going to be a top level team. You need to take out the best of the best, and they take out second. Remarkable team as well do go down. We have 6 squads remaining. We are going to see Silly Billies are a duo. But I'll be honest with you, Sony, I've seen them do this before as a duo, win from a very tough situation. As we're going to see Wolves Esports still going in. That is Team Mango that has been taken down. TYK also potentially a duo. This is a very messy endgame, but Wolves are in control.
Yeah, they're in some serious control now. There's no one in the lobby that can catch them. So Wolves Esports definitely have won the day, but now it kind of does mean something for the teams that are still alive, like the QOR, the JDG, the Silly Billies, and the TYK, because as you know, it's all about placement now and their points moving forward.
Yeah, QOR are going for an aggressive play here with that Rolling Thunder. Damage and force the teams away from them. As we can see this rotate coming out, Silly Billies are the victim of those explosions. They go down, had to rotate into the open. 4 squads remain, as we are going to see it is TYK as a duo. Everyone else up as a full squad, looking to try and take the day. This is going to be a very interesting endgame, because JDG, I'll be honest, are in a very nice spot on this bridge.
Yeah, they are, but so are TYK. I mean, TYK still have to kind of rotate into that north side, but we're going to have a look at this map and see where they are. And we are down to our final 4 teams for our final game of today. And JDG, like you were saying, in a pretty good spot moving forward. They get to watch a lot of the teams on that kind of northeast, northwest side rotate into the middle.
Yeah, for sure. We are seeing that Newcastle value, though, for QOR, as well as the ramp of defense, gonna be helping them secure their little spot in this zone. As we can see, it looks like TYK have managed to just get themselves in as well. So all 4 teams in the ring, and Wolves Esports controlling the east side, JDG controlling the west. The rest of the teams are gonna have to try and work through the pinch.
That they will. 4 squads left alive. Nothing really happening as of yet. TYK, the duo, still alive. Just trying to look at JD Gaming at the moment. And I wonder if we can see another Wolves win here on E-District. It wouldn't be a scrim set or a PL set without a double Wolves win. So 4 squads left, K-Man. And it does look like that zone pulls a little bit more towards Wolves.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting rotate here. JDG, I mean, they've been getting duo for quite some time. We're going to hear some shots going out here. It looks like they've had enough of them. They're starting to launch nades. They've launched a rolling thunder, but they don't want to over-aggress too much because easily a third party could come out. As I do say that though, JD Gaming needing to start to go forward. We're hearing shots break out across the map. Wolves Esports as well are controlling the high ground, looking down on QOR, who do at least have a little spot to play out of with this Newcastle. It's kind of prime rat location here for QOR. They are harassing Wolves at the moment, but we can see the fights are going down everywhere as we do see TYK go down in the feed. JDG are going to lose their own third party as QOR get eliminated.
Yeah, QOR, I was going to say it. I feel like they had the upper advantage because they had the Newcastle, but they put the Newcastle wall in the worst spot. And now JD Gaming are looking to come in and get their first win of today as well. And they will take the final W. And that might put them into a pretty good spot here for week number 1 points.
I've got to say, I just watched a disgusting double headshot from None with that 30-30, man. This gun is such a problem at the best of times. A 14-kill win, though, for JDG to finish the day. Very, very handy. I mean, Wolves 11 in second place. That pretty much guarantees that they win the lobby, but JD Gaming certainly are going to shoot themselves up a little bit.
Yeah, that is a huge last game. JD Gaming with a 14-kill victory and JR with the 2.4k damage. And, I mean, what a way to finish off our first day of Pro League for Split 2 with a JD Gaming win. The champions from Split number 1. So, well done to JD Gaming. We'll go and have a look now at our overall summary leaderboards and stuff like that as we are finishing up today. And our match summary for our final game, JD Gaming with a 26-point win, Wolf Esports with 11 kills second place, QOR third, TYK fourth, and Silly Billies rounding out the top 5. And QOR and Silly Billies, they both did that 2 games in a row, so good job there. We'll go and have a look at the series overall for our first A versus B week number 1, and it is Wolves Esports taking the day with a 25-point lead over Gen G Esports. TYK come third, JD Gaming jump up into 4th, and MDYB will round out the top 5. We have 5 Fears, QR Gaming, Vegas Inferno, Remarkable Team, and Deep Cross Gaming will be the last 5 teams in the top 10 as well. Source Gaming and KPG finished the day on the bottom. But other than that, from about 16th to about the top 7, it's pretty close.
100%. I mean, this has been such a competitive lobby, Stoney. This is really showing who the best of the best are, and Wolves Esports, full credit to them for finishing on top. I'll be honest though, Gen G, lucky to hold on to that second place. Going down in 8th position, there was plenty of points to be gathered by TYK and JD Gaming, who did end up getting the win. They were probably a little bit less likely to overtake them, but TYK just unable to overtake into that second position. So very, very handy points to come through for the top 3 teams. But I mean, everybody, I mean, next week we could see a completely different leaderboard with the way the games turned out today.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we definitely will, I think. But I don't think we're going to see anything different from the 2 teams that are on top in this leaderboard right now. Wolves and Gen G have proved why they're 2 of the top 10 teams in the world right now, and they are looking good. A little bit of an upset story, I guess, is VK Gaming finishing in the bottom 10 there. I mean, without QQ, I think we all know how valuable QQ is to VK Gaming, and it looks like they're going to have to try and adapt as the weeks come, and it looks like they've got a fair bit of work to do.
Yeah, but you know what? That is what this first week is about, right? Get themselves a little bit of practice, get themselves into the lobbies, a bit more used to it. Like we said, they hadn't been scrimming too much, so maybe we'll see them a little bit during the week, but we can see our top 5 kills And it's just no surprise at this point to see Azure at the top. I mean, it doesn't even matter. Like, that's not even a discussion. He's just always been up there. Was a little quiet towards the end of the lobbies today, but he had some monstrous performances. No Name with that charge rifle we're seeing. Wouldn't be surprised to see No Name still on top of the damage. I mean, he has just been lacing people. Another 20 bomb from a Wolves member. Donut as well with 18. Johnny R 13 and YRV renting out the top 5 kill leaders with 12.
Yeah, we'll go have a look at the damage leaders and look at No Name, man. He nearly had 13k damage. That is bloody nuts, yeah? So after 6 games, 13k damage. Donut with the 8.5. Asia with the 7.1. JR rounds out the top 4 with a 6.2. And GoGaps comes in from 5 Fears with the 6.1. So that is the overall leaderboards from the players and the teams. We'll go and have a look at our final winner. And I mean, this is so cool to see those 6 different winners. 6 different matches.
Yep, certainly going to be a competitive type of split coming out here in the Pro League. And that's what you want to see, right? Because the storyline's going to build up as we get closer and closer to those playoffs. These teams are going to have to try their best to stay as consistent as possible. And it's so hard to do when you look at the variation here. 6 winners, as you say. Very, very nicely played by all the teams. JD Gaming did so well in that last game. And I mean, it was because of that smart decision-making that you said, Stoney, in that mid-game, where I think that they were going to go fight Silly Billies originally, but they didn't immediately get the knock, so they just backed up and they controlled the lobby and won the game. So it was exactly as you called it, a very smart decision by them, and they're all rewarded with a top placement at the end of the day. Yeah, they did really well with that rotate back. I know how much JD Gaming in the past have full sent that, so I don't know who is IGL now, but if it was back in the day, they would have pushed that and most likely thrown their game. So they're the kind of things that JD Gaming have needed to work on, and they have proven that they are capable of making a change. So that is all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen, for week number 1. There is nothing else that we can talk about. That was so much action. We only had 6 games today. We have another, we'll have 12 next week. But from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys all for being here. We're at Battlegrounds OC, are so proud that we can be able to do this. We have a map stream as well. It's been a lot of work from us in the past 3 years to get where we are today, and I am very proud and truly honored to be here as your caster and host for APAC South in split number 2. I'm Stoney AU. This is K-Man. We'll see you all next week. It's been a pleasure. See you later.
Let's go.